Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, May 6th, also known as the slowest sports news day in the history of existence of sports and news. There was really nothing to talk about today. I'm going to be 100% honest. But the Korean baseball organization still had more games, a couple more bat flips, a couple more home runs. A guy got cold-shouldered in the
dugout
after hitting a home run, so he had kind of got a no-sell. I'll celebrate with myself. The KBO is the only live sporting event on planet Earth right now, and they're taking advantage of their time. With that being said, I don't know much about baseball, and I don't know much about the KBO, so it's hard for this particular show to really dive deep into that. We'll have an update on the KBO from our friend Ty Schmidt, who is our baseball expert. We'll talk about Adam Schefter alluding to the fact that the salary cap might go down $30 to $80 million in the next year or so because of the potential COVID-19 quarantine away from games being played without fans. Now, granted, we don't know much in this room about what happens in the real world because kind of live in this bubble, and it's, to be honest, it's a lot nicer this way. It's much nicer. Ignorance is bliss, they say. We live by that model, but now in this world, you kind of have to learn as you go. Do I think that there's going to be an entire NFL season 4 months from now, maybe, that starts, if they delay it, without fans in the stands? Now, granted, this might be completely ignorant because I'm in Indianapolis and I'm not in one of those big cities, right? Mm-hmm. Might be completely ignorant. And I don't know what happened in Texas when they opened. Is that a real consideration at this point? Because think about not only football losing them, think about like humans that can't work for another 4 months. I mean, this is a wild time to be alive. Let's hope the super smart people figure this out so we can get back to games. And I think a lot of NFL players are currently looking at their contract situation, looking at their future, and hearing this report from Schefter on the My Sports Update podcast saying, wow, there's about to be $30 to $80 million lost in the salary cap. If you're an older player and you have just signed a contract or something of that nature, and there's a chance that they can get rid of you if the salary cap drops that much, you're a little bit not a little bit worried. I mean, granted, everybody should be worried about this case, but that changes the future of a lot of people's careers if that happens in our world, in the NFL world. There's going to be older players that's careers maybe will get cut short because they're not worth the payment because you don't have as much money to spend. But when Schefter started diving into those numbers of how much money is being made each week by these teams, so these teams, if there's an entire season played with no fans, okay, 16-game season, 8 home games for each team, 2 preseasons if you want to count it. Schefter says that is $100 million in lost revenue for each team. Okay, now granted, Jacksonville doesn't always sell out. No offense to them. We're just talking about things that happen. Some places don't sell out, but about $100 million. If you don't count the preseason games, that's $12.5 million each game they make just from tickets. I don't know what happens with concessions and stuff like that. But if you do the math, obviously, with 32 teams, Schefter pointed out, that's $3.2 billion that they lose just in tickets, let alone jersey sales, television, merch, like other merch. You're talking about everything that the NFL operates as. What a business. The more and more I learn about it during the CBA thing, the more and more I learn about this. The NFL is making so much money, and it's a sport that brings so much happiness to a lot of people. But that thought of it, an entire season happening without fans, is crazy to me. And then you got to think about the players, just because, I mean, they're humans as well, trying to make a living. Probably most of them come from pretty humble backgrounds, and they've made a living for themselves playing sport. If you think about that, okay, so now we're playing an entire season, knowing that next year we're probably going to lose a lot of our jobs and a lot of money. I mean, that's going to be an interesting conversation with the CBA or the NFLPA and the NFL. This COVID-19 thing. And let's not even start talking about murder hornets.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about murder hornets. What if murder hornets start fornicating with other murder hornets? And now we got super murder hornets, and I assume their biggest murder hornet hasn't even been born yet. No. Right? That thing's coming. Yeah. It's going to be the size of a toddler. It's little. It's unbelievable. I just feel like, and I said this yesterday, and it might be because I led this entire thing off with saying we are stupid when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I feel like the light is at the end of the tunnel for this thing. I might be wrong. I guess in New York, they said that they're not coming back to their office until September 8th. That is a long time from now. But if New York's coming back on September 8th, we could have pushed the stadium or the season back a little bit. If that's what they're projecting. I mean, granted, what if the murder hornets become like 2 billion murder hornets come out tomorrow? I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I think that is what I've learned throughout this entire thing is the predictability of the future is next to nothing at this point. So who knows what's going to happen? But they're predicting September 8th or something like that. So that means at least something can happen. I don't know if there's going to be an entire season without fans. I just don't think that's going to happen. But boy, $30 to $80 million salary cap dump. That's quite a wide gap too, by the way. That's like a that is like whenever they tell you, we'll be at your house to change your from 6 a.m. to about 9 p.m. Just keeping that window open. But that's because if it's half a season, I assume, without fans, that's where the numbers lie and stuff like that. Insane business stuff.
I still don't know how it's possible if it drops like that for teams to even have a roster, because right now there's only 3 teams over the $30 million in cap space. So like if there's a $30 million drop, like there's gonna be 29 teams who can't get under the cap.
So what was it? 198.2 million you said earlier, right? Was the current cap? You drop 80 million there. That's 128. That's almost half the cap is gone right there. Right?
2009 was the last year that it was under 128 million dollars.
So it's like half a drop or whatever, and or half a cut almost.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do, somebody's going to do the quick math number, 75, 80% of a drop, or no, sorry, 45%, 40 to 45% of a drop there. That is madness to think about who would lose their jobs. You know what? That's why they drafted Jordan Love. You know what I mean?
That's why they're not paying Dak.
They drafted Jordan Love. That's why they're not paying Dak. They know that this is coming potentially. Can't pay the quarterback. That's what happened. I mean, that's just got to be the only reason why.
That will be, though. Like, most teams, like 3 guys will be making like 80 to 90% of the cap.
Well, they'll have to renegotiate. Every single contract will have to get renegotiated. There might be a deal maybe with the NFLPA where everybody's contract drops like whatever it is, 40% or something like that. Ask them to take a 40% pay cut or whatever. But there's going to be some problems that are going to rise there, and probably some early retirements.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which, who knows? It's Wednesday, May 6th. We'll take some phone calls. 1-833 622-3331. Almost lost it there. Nick Marado's here. Tone Diggs is here. Ty Schmidt's here. Jason McAfee's here. Viva Lazito's here. Evan Foxy's is here. And on the phone, a gladiator, Boston Connor.
I like it, brother. Hey, guys, phone calls these days are off the hook. I mean, we've gotten 12,000 calls in this first 6 minutes. It's insane.
You told us off air yesterday that we had a call from Estonia yesterday, and you hung up on him.
I did not hang up. I don't think that really understood the entire process of waiting on hold. I think they do it different in Estonia. I don't know how radio shows work over there.
We've had calls from Estonia, Wales, which is what? That's I don't
UK.
Okay. Because I didn't know.
Near England.
And then Ireland, I think we've had calls. Australia, we've had calls from.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, we've had calls from. Italy, we've had calls. I've been getting a lot of comments from Germany on my Instagram because of Bjorn Werner. There's going to be a ping pong battle.
We're taking him.
Oh, yeah. We'll go and get him.
We're going to Germany. Hey. And we're going to go to Ireland. Yeah. And we're going to go to Germany. Yeah. And we're going to go on to Australia. Yeah. Hey, a little political joke there. Mm-hmm. See what we did there?
That was nice.
Hey, pretty diverse. I would hang up too, though, if that human was answering the phones.
Well, I don't know, because I got a sword. So
quote of the day.
The hospital you were born in is the only building you exit without entering.
Bingo.
Oh.
Hey. Bingo.
What if you got a foot out?
Huh?
Well, you still don't walk in.
Oh, if you're like an eighth of born already while you're going in? Didn't walk in, though,
Yeah.
If you're a waddling little foot hanging, I don't want to get into science. This
quote,
is not a science
Did
show.
the quote say walk in?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not walked into I've been in a wheelchair a couple times going to the buildings and walked out.
That's because you're a hero, bub. Also joining us, you are, absolutely. Also joining us today, he wasn't with us yesterday because he had a class where I'm sure he learned a lot more than he's just learned here. Intern Emmett. How's it going, Emmett?
Going very well.
That's tough. That's a tough start for you.
Careful there.
If you fail to prepare, you are failing for failure.
Is that an error?
Preparing for failure. Emmett, what class did you have yesterday?
Greek and Latin roots, an etymology class.
Oh, that's going to help you big time.
See, why is that a class? Why is that a class? Like, that is a hustle. I'm so sorry. I should have asked this. Do you plan on getting into like a Greek-speaking thing?
No.
Latin?
No.
So what's the purpose of him paying for this class, going to this class? And I mean, that is just a hustle. There is never a single moment in your life you will need any of that information.
People don't even speak Latin anymore. It's a dead language.
It's true.
I took it for 2 years. Salve, amicum.
He's an idiot. Did you pay attention? What was it, a Zoom?
Yeah, it was a Zoom meeting class.
Okay, so everybody, is it like everybody has to check in? Do they say your name like, okay, Ashley, blah, Robert, blah, and you got to say Emmett, blah, and you have to answer yes?
No, there's not like a roll call, but I've been called out for going in late a couple times.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't show up late. That's like rule number one of team meetings. If you're in the NFL, it's like, if you're going to be late, don't even come in. Because as soon as you open that door, whatever happens here now, you're interrupting every single message, and everybody sees you now walking in. Like, if you don't show up, there's a lot of people on that team probably like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen, he must have been in the back or something like that. But there was this one, oh, man. Chuck was in the middle of a good one. Chuck Pagano was in the middle of a good story, and then that door just comes swinging open, like right next to him, because you walk in, and it was just like, oh, that guy, well, he's cut probably today. That guy is probably cut today. Don't go late. Just, well, you
Is
should
there a
show
notification?
I was gonna say it's better not to show.
up. Yeah, I don't know about the Zoom, the class there.
Is there a notification right when you log in?
Yeah, like there's a sound that pops up, and then everyone, you're the first screen that goes on everyone's
Well, what are you
computer.
late? I feel like I should do this now. What are you late for? What's going? You got nothing else going on. Why are you late?
You
Emmett?
can enter on your phone, can't you?
I feel like this is something your dad would want me to say to you right now, and I feel like I kind of. Why were you late? What happened?
I've been late a couple different times.
Oh, you got to go to the bathroom or something. Yeah, obviously.
Cool
like
kids
5
coming
minutes
in the
late.
Zooms, clearly.
Yeah, well, he had to go to the bathroom. Emmett had to go to the bathroom. That's why he
That's
was
his
late.
story.
Well, I mean, it's at least a story that you can get away because you're in the middle of a quarantine. Your teacher's probably like, well, why are you even? What's going on?
You're playing video games.
Oh, are you playing video games?
Were you playing?
Playing Madden.
Okay.
Oh,
Game's almost over. Hold on.
Go overtime. What do you want to do? What do you, Latin, Greek, or overtime right now? You tell me, teach. Okay, I don't know. By the way, you gotta do what you gotta do, bub. You'll get by.
Can we go in his Thursday class?
Yeah. Can you send out the link to the Zoom class?
That was my last day yesterday.
Oh, congratulations! Congratulations, Emmett. Did you pass?
I'm pretty sure I'm passing right now. We still have the final.
Oh,
big
man.
study period.
You don't got
coming
a
up.
shot.
No, you got no chance. Do you know anything about Greek or Latin at this point?
I know the Greek alphabet now.
Hey,
Really? That's pretty good.
Just wait till you see how much money you make because of that information.
Base.
You know, because
No, I think it's
U, F, J.
alpha, beta, delta, theta.
Oh my God, frat boy.
Oh, it's
What do you mean, frat boy? I went to school without frats. What are you talking about?
Anyways, congratulations on finishing that class. When's
Thank
your
you.
final? Is it just they email it to you?
No, that final is on Tuesday at the same time period.
Do you have to take the test on the Zoom?
Not on the Zoom, but you have to take it just like on
Whiteboard?
Moodle. Yeah, which is like a whiteboard. Just
Is
a
it
class thing.
is it timed?
Yes.
So you can't just Google search everything.
No, you can't. Which
I took plenty of online classes.
Yeah,
I
you
did a
can-
lot of Google
if you're
search.
Definitely still do that.
If you got the quick
You good
fingies.
Google
I mean, you got Siri too.
Because I don't know how high schoolers don't do that for everything. I mean, that is literally, what is that? You probably got to go into the Google suggestion for the things you learn in high school and put probably 3 letters in, and it'll probably suggest what you're looking for.
1000%.
Yeah, some teachers think they get smart and they lock down the session so you can't open up another browser window. You just get another computer.
Yeah. Or your phone.
There's always ways.
Hey, we'll get you. He's got like a doctorate in IT. Ask him what he's using that for right now. Too, buddy.
Or if you want, we'll come and like you Google question
bag of
1,
nothing.
Nick will Google question 2, I'll do question 3, all at the same time.
Oh, you see, maybe we make you a doctor this semester. Yeah, we'll just run through every single test.
Emmett.
I was thinking about doing that. Whenever I was thinking about getting my degree from West Virginia and then going on and getting a master's or a doctorate in something, just having somebody do it for me.
I'm
was ready to
surprised
go.
they haven't offered you an honorary doctorate yet.
That is surprising.
Nah, no, I don't think so.
Maybe
It's
at least
coming.
Notre
I've
Dame.
given 0 big donations. There's people that give big donations and stuff like that. I probably should at some point. I think I probably will. I got to be at the point in my life where I'm like, yeah, I could just give a university that amount of money
Or at
because they're
least-
charging people for Greek and Latin classes. Okay,
Or at
so-
least an honorary undergrad because you're not that far from it, right?
well, I don't know how many hours you lose.
you gotta take the-
do they expire like milk?
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
they
No.
do not.
Do my hours
Nope.
spoil?
Absolutely not.
If they do, it takes like 20 years. Takes an exception.
It's like a driver's
We're
test.
getting there. I mean, we are on our way.
You're good.
Me, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, Kanye West,
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
He did, by the way. They did not want him to succeed, by the way. No. Oh, because the rowers.
Yeah.
And they're obviously dialed in.
The Winklevi.
Boss
Yeah, the
twins.
Vi. Yeah. Justin Timberlake, by the way, really saved the day for that whole thing. I mean, people forget. He walks in there. Not only does he create Napster, which helped us out. You probably don't even know what that is, huh, Emmett? You ever heard of Napster?
No.
Yeah, what? Bingo.
What about LimeWire?
Yes, LimeWire was the first time I ever downloaded music.
Yes. So
Yeah, so Napster was a little bit before LimeWire. It was the first one. But that's who Justin Timberlake obviously created that.
Yep.
Then he goes and says, drops the dump, becomes the guy. How come that friend of Zuckerberg wouldn't move to California? That guy's...
was his
Eddie?
girlfriend?
Dealing with ad agencies in New York for the site.
Oh, so he said he was moving and grooving for the site. I thought it was because he just didn't want to move.
No, I think he was very
Paid
much
for the
in
house
on it.
Yeah.
that they were in.
He was the money part.
Phil.
He kind of got screwed. Well,
He did get screwed,
he got screwed.
but I think he made off very well. In
Yeah.
the
He
Like
walked
a
away with
band.
70 mil.
Everybody got paid there, too, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Winklevi ended up getting paid.
Yeah, just
There's enough money for
They
everyone.
didn't even
Peanuts
release the
compared to-
amount
Well,
for
Napster
how
walked
much
with
they
$8
paid
million.
everyone.
Anyways, so if you're... Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna like create a Facebook or something, I think these classes are all worthless. Just really to. Now, granted, there's only been one person in the history of existence that has done that, but I think that is something that should be said to a lot of people that are in college, though.
yeah.
How about Tom from MySpace? I think he gets dropped out of the conversation.
He was a
I
legend.
think he got paid.
He was
No,
like
but he-
300 some million or something
I don't
like
think he
that.
ever went to college.
Justin Timberlake now owns MySpace, I think. Speaking of,
That's hilarious.
Small
look at
world.
us.
Sean Parker.
Look at us. It's a real show all of a sudden. Good for us, man. Anyways, hey, don't be late to your classes, okay? Unless it's overtime, you got to do what you got to do, but make sure you get that dub.
Yeah.
Rather you be competitive than
Absolutely.
learn Latin or Greek. I
True.
think maybe you should explain that to your professor the next time.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm keeping my competitive edge, which is going to drive me to be better at both Greek, Latin, and actual life that I don't need this class for. You can write that one down if you need to. 16 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. We have a guest joining us, Coach Billy Napier. Now, I would be lying if I said I okayed Coach Billy Napier as a potential guest because Ty was like, hey, how about Coach Billy Napier? And I said, I have no idea who he is. Love the name, though. Love the name Billy Napier. So I did a little research. This dude coached under Dabo Swinney and Saban. He's the Sun Conference Coach of the Year at the current moment. Has had winning seasons. I think this dude's potentially going to be, I think he's going to do one of these things in the coaching world. We'll talk to him. State of the NCAA, name, image, likeness. And also, what was it like to coach under Saban and what was it like under Dabo? Are they completely opposite human beings? Because it seems that way. Or are they the same behind closed doors? Oh, we'll dig to the bottom of it. Only on this show. Murder Hornets. Adam Schefter reports. NCAA football. That's what we do. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, May 6th. All right, I want to ask you about the word elite because when we were in your building, if something was called elite, it was massive. It's like, hey, this is elite. You told me my performance on College Game Day was elite. I got so excited just because I know how big of a word that is for your program. What is elite? Why are you guys elite? And why is that the most important word in the dictionary for Minnesota Gophers?
First of all, it's a lifestyle, right? And it's a standard. And my wife, Heather, always tells me what's the hardest part about being the standard is you're the standard. And you're always the standard, right? And so the Navy SEALs call themselves elite. It's a special part of the Navy, right? It's the elite of the elite. It's a group that's just different. Now, we define elite as a necktie mentality, a Prefontaine face, and a farmer's alliance. I know that doesn't make any sense to all of you, but a necktie is an organism that can flow through water without the water current dictating its behavior. So a great white shark is a necktie. It always attacks, and it's never full. It's never satisfied. So whether that's academically, athletically, socially, spiritually, it's never satisfied. Navy SEALs can fight on land, water, and air. They are never satisfied, and they're the elite of the elite. So we want them to have this always attack, never full mentality in their whole life, as a husband, as a father one day, as a student athlete, as a representation of the University of Minnesota. Then the Prefontaine pace is just, we want them to do things urgently. There's no procrastination in this program. Zero. Whatever you can do tomorrow, find a way to do it today. Right? Don't put it off to tomorrow, no matter what. And that's what we talk to our players about. And then the last part is the Farmers Alliance, and that's about trust. My farm is right next to your farm. Your farm is just as important to mine because the seeds of corn are on top, and the wind will dictate what our crop is like. So you have to take care of each other, and you have to love each other, and you have to be very selfless. So that's what elite is to us. I know it's a big definition. It sounds like all these fancy slogans and words, and oh my gosh, he's just a slogan guy. It's simple. It's just finding a way to be better today than you were yesterday and fighting human nature.
Coach, you just made me want to neck on through a wall, bro. That was... Welcome. Oh, we should let the beat drop for sure. Yeah, we gotta let... Coach, sorry, we gotta let this... It's gotta... At some point, this has to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, May 6th. Joining us now, head coach for the Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns, head coach Billy Napier. Billy!
What's up, Pat? What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Hey, Billy, sorry I had to let that beat drop there. It was really building, you know what I mean, Coach?
I don't know if that might be the music I was myself.
Oh no.
We'll take it.
Oh no, Billy, we're gonna have to call you back, Coach. We'll have another banger for on the other side. I think it's our connection isn't great.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Coach. Hey, when he comes back on, let's try to guess what he likes. What do you think? He said that wouldn't be his music of choice. You think he's a country guy, rock guy?
He looks like
Country.
Yeah,
Red
he's
dirt stuff.
Ted Nugent guy.
Are you guys kind of stereotyping right now?
No,
you think?
no.
Sure feels like you guys are potentially. What if it's rap? What if he wants rap in there? You don't.
Ooh, a little Nola clap.
He's been in the South pretty much his entire life.
What if that was it? Yeah, Coach, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How we doing, Pat?
Oh, you sound so good. We were trying to guess there while we were trying to figure out the connection there. What is your style of music?
Well, a little bit of everything, man. Heck, I've been all over the place, so I've got appreciation for about every type of music.
I respect that. Do you guys play music at practice down there?
We do on Thursdays. We do.
Who controls the playlist?
I let the guys control that. We just try to keep it clean, and so we basically use it as crowd noise on Thursdays, to try to simulate the crowd noise and challenge our communication at the end of the week. It's been a great change up. We didn't do that maybe at some places I've been in the past, but certainly, I think it's been a good change up for the players.
Yeah, I think it's an energy booster too. Like later in the year, whenever like maybe somebody's song, because we didn't do it for a while on a lot of teams I was on, that kind of became something recent. And then there was a year or two where they actually just blasted crowd noise for every single practice, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And even when we were practicing outside, there's a neighborhood next door. They were just getting a crowd screaming at them the entire time. And then when music started getting in there, you saw it like lift everybody. I was like, this is genius. This is what people should have been doing for a long time. Let's talk about where you were at previously, because that's an interesting story that I did not know until we started looking into you a little bit. You coached for Saban and Dabo. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, yeah.
Okay, are they the polar opposite human beings whenever it comes to coaching?
I'd say I get I get asked that question quite a bit. I think they've got more commonalities than you would expect. I think they're completely different maybe in how they do it, maybe some of their personality traits and those types of things. But they've had success, I think, because they've got conviction about what they believe they want their program to be about. They're fully comfortable with who they are, confident, supreme confidence. I think they're very process-oriented and certainly a lot of ways to skin a cat. You've seen both of them, emerge and have success, been able to sustain it, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon.
Did you know you were going to be a coach when you were playing quarterback in D1 AA?
Yeah, I was actually working hard to be a high school coach. My dad was a high school football coach. Always wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps. Grew up in Georgia, in a county school, so just watched him generation after generation really make a difference, and really liked that part about football. I got an opportunity when I was young to get my foot in the door in college football, but it's just kind of taken off. I got hired at Clemson when I was 26, and it's just been wide open ever since. But I love the game. Always wanted to be a coach. Certainly wasn't ever good enough to be a pro player like yourself, but
I got lucky.
But love the game, man, and love everything that the game can teach young people. Certainly love the strategy part, the competition part. I think we all can agree that it's a special, special game.
Yeah, I think it's the best. The locker room is a melting pot from the entire globe, basically. Every single walk of life is represented in there, going towards a common goal. I wish more of the locker room would actually come out into the real world. And speaking, whenever you leave from Clemson and leave from Alabama, and I guess you're at Arizona State, and Herm told you could stay on as the offense coordinator, but you go to be a head coach now at this point. What do you pick out along the way where you're like, okay, I like that Dabo's doing this, I'm going to take this. I like that Saban's doing this, and then Herm Edwards, whole different energy. I like what he's doing. He's an NFL guy. Do you like just kind of pick and choose? And what were some things you got from those guys that you're like, okay, that's going to make me a good coach someday?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the great things. I think what gets overlooked, I think, a lot is not only do you get to work for those head coaches, but you're exposed to some unbelievable assistant coaches and coordinators in different areas of the organization, whether that's strength and conditioning, nutrition, academics. I think so along the way, that's basically what we've done here in Louisiana is we picked a little bit from everything. I would say the core of what we do from a player development standpoint and a year-round plan is a lot of the Alabama blueprint. But certainly I'm not Nick Saban from a personality perspective. So, we do things different. I think that some of the areas where maybe I felt like along the way we did some things a little bit differently, more efficient, more of my personality. I'm an offensive guy, so maybe see it from that big picture. But I think a lot of what we do at the core is that Alabama blueprint from a teaching development perspective. And then I think from a core value, big picture perspective relative to what we're trying to do as coaches, maybe that's a little bit more like some of these other guys that I've worked for.
Okay, so a lot of the development happens in spring ball. We're obviously in the middle of an unprecedented time where you couldn't have learned from anybody else on how to handle this type of situation. What are you doing during all this whenever you can't have people around? You got to do Zoom calls. Your coaches aren't even around you, so you can't really game plan. This is an unprecedented time. What are you doing to adjust through it all?
Well, we got 3 practices in for spring ball, and then we were cut off there. it took us a week or 10 days to adjust, but we basically continued our process relative to we scripted the practices, we put together installation packets, we basically created cut-ups that reflected the scripts. We've taught from installations basically twofold, one paper install packet version on a doc cam, and then we transition to the video cut-ups that goes with those concepts. So we're moving right along. We're actually I think we're on about practice 9 or 10 right now. We took a little bit of a break because our guys are taking final exams, but we're going to keep working through these things and try to teach as best we can.
Listen, you can't say it. I will. Get this fine. Listen. Anyways, Coach, whatever. We have a kid who's an intern here who's currently in college, and he can't come and learn stuff on this show that'll make him money one day because he's going to take the origins of Greek and Latin on Zoom. Whatever. Okay, now any small school, and I don't want to say that University of Louisiana Lafayette is a small school, but it's not as established. You get it. Okay, any smaller school that wants to make a run into national prominence has to have a great offense. I think that's kind of the whole point. You look at SMU last year, whenever they were on their run, that offense was electric. When I was at West Virginia, Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, the boys, they put us on the map. I mean, the offense, if you can score, you get into the thing. You run the offense. What is your style of offense? I should have watched film before talking to you, but I'm excited to learn about this a little bit.
No, we're a one-back, no-huddle team. We've kind of evolved over time. I was fortunate to get a chance to call plays and be a coordinator when I was really young. I was nowhere close to being ready to do that, at Clemson. And then, had opportunities to work with lots of different coordinators. And I think we've combined a lot of those things along the way and come up with a system here. We've been running it for 3 years. This will be our 4th season. Starting when we were at Arizona State was our first year. But it's a one-back system. We are a no-huddle team. We vary tempo. But we run a lot of pro concepts, but we've attached a lot of the run-pass option and perimeter screen concepts that go with those. But I think it's a good, solid system. We've gotten better each and every year. I think last year was our best year. We've got a good core group of players coming back.
Play action was always something that was important to football, right? It's the most important thing to football back in the day, and forever will be probably. But then it got kind of transitioned into this RPO, right? And the RPO is a little bit different. I mean, it's similar, but it's obviously different with the way it's adjusted. Is there a way to everybody's doing that offense. Everybody. It's in the NFL now at this point. I mean, the most successful offenses in the NFL are going. The fact that you're running it in college, a lot of people are running it in college. It feels like the athletes are being built for this type of offense these days. What is going to slow down this? Is there? It feels like there's literally, it's all adjusting to things that are happening. So it's like at all times it's inaudible. So I don't know how you stop. Like defenses are going to have, I think, a long decade here trying to figure this out.
Yeah, it's a never-ending chess match. I think we've seen defenses evolve. I think you're seeing, just having been in the game for a long time. I mean, I played for my dad. He was a triple option guy. We read defenders, right? We read down linemen. We had pitch keys. I mean, so you're just seeing the game evolve. And I think defensive coaches are going to catch up. But you got to take advantage of the rules. And I think that's basically what you've seen is coaches have evolved. There's certainly more information out there. And people are using the rules to their advantage. And certainly the offense has some advantages based off of the current rules.
You guys have had people make it to the NFL. This past year, I think somebody ended up a Steeler.
Oh, yeah. Fourth round.
What's his name?
Kevin Dotson.
Okay, so this guy's a diehard Steelers fan. I think whenever he was drafted, Diggs didn't potentially know who he was. Then went and watched his film and was like, we got a mauler coming to Pittsburgh from the university.
He's a road grader.
Yeah, there's been some real NFL talent coming out of your school down there. That has to be big in pitching, obviously, for recruiting. And then obviously the seriousness within the program. Like, hey, if we go here, we play here, we can end up in the league someday. That has to be pretty rewarding as a coach.
Well, I think a big thing for our staff and the entire organization is that we're so happy for these young men. We've been here with them for 2 years. We've watched them work extremely hard. They not only were really good players, but they were great leaders on our team. These are exceptional people. some of the best character and work ethic on our team to go along with talent. And that's why they got drafted. We also had Robert Hunt got drafted in the second round to the Miami Dolphins, Raymond Calais in the seventh round to the Tampa Bay Bucks. We had two good free agent picks. Jamarcus Bradley ended up with the Browns and Mike Jacquet to the Eagles. So those guys were really good players and good teammates. And I think that's where you get gratification in college football is when you see kind of some of those dreams realized a little bit and they get that opportunity to go give it a shot at the next level.
Amen. It has to feel good. They're going to go make a lot of money for their family. They put in hard work, and you got to see them grow from boys to men in that time. You got a lot of balls behind you. What the hell's going on behind you there? We got a lot of balls right behind you. It's a good-looking office, by the way. I like what you're doing here.
I'll tell you a story. A lot of this office that we got here, very fortunate to have a great facility at Louisiana, and the head coach's office gets an A+ on my board. But we worked here for probably 3 or 4 months, and this thing was empty, right? So we had a young lady here who was our director of on-campus recruiting, Katie Turner. One day she comes in and says, "Hey, Coach, how about you let me decorate your office?" So we brought some things in. These are just some of the experiences that I've had as a coach, certainly some of the good teams that we were a part of, and some of the good players that maybe we had a chance to be around. So, anytime you're recruiting, I think the kids want to see some of the things that maybe you've been a part of in the past, and that's what these balls represent.
Yeah, and you should also remind yourself that you've done some awesome things every once in a while. That's not a bad thing to do, too.
Well, been fortunate to be a part of some really good teams and be around some great people, no doubt.
Well, it sounds like you're one of those as well, fella. We appreciate you so much for joining us. Good luck to your squad. Good luck in handling this entire time, and we appreciate you coming on.
Pat, thank you so much for having me on today, man. You guys have a great day.
I'll tell you what, I literally only said yes at the beginning because your name was Billy Napier, and I love that name. And then as I looked into you, and now after this conversation, I'm a big fan. You got a big fan in me, pal. I want to let you know that.
Awesome, Pat. Love you, man. Been keeping up with you, and certainly watched a couple of your shows.
Got to.
Before doing this, man. You got a great crew there. Keep it up, man. Hopefully we'll be playing college football here before long.
Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate that, by the way. Head coach of the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Billy Napier.
Yeah! Boy, Bill!
That was a good convo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea what to talk about.
He knows his stuff.
I learned a lot about old Billy Napier right there, though. Yeah. That offense, I don't know how you – I always – because a couple weeks ago, I was even like, will our defensive coordinators figure out Lamar Jackson because they're paid millions of dollars to figure out Lamar Jackson. But then as they continue to show all these Lamar Jackson highlights on TV, it's like, how do you teach somebody to tackle Lamar Jackson? I mean, I feel like he was covered on a lot of occasions. I feel
guys in the right spots.
I feel like the defensive coordinators, whenever they are talking about the game against the Ravens the day after, they were like, we had guys that were in position to make plays. It's just like, it's Lamar Jackson. I don't know how you stop that. And if all of these kids in college are starting to run it too. It's like, if you can have the person in the right move, but okay, if I can't out-athlete you, I'll send it to somebody else. They're going to try to out-athlete you. And then there's even a third option of a throw. It's just, I don't know. Everybody has to just bring it. Your defense just has to be like the most fundamentally, tactically sound defenders of all time. And even then, if you're too stiff, you're going to get, I don't know.
If there is a guy like that, like a Lamar or even someone lesser, is it better to have like a stud D lineman or like a stud linebacker or a stud safety?
I would assume that Isaiah Simmons is the guy that you're looking for there, right? Because he's as fast as whoever, but he also has wiggle. But they said he's going to play linebacker. I think they said they plan on him playing linebacker. That's it. But he's never going to lose that 4.4 or 4.3 speed, whatever the hell it was.
This is on me. I should have looked this up. So they were a top 10 offense last year and a top 4 running offense. So they were more of a spread run, which could have asked about Lamar. That's on me.
No, it's also on me. I should have done some research as well there.
I knew that, though. I bet on them a lot last year.
Did you?
I mean, they were 11-2. They were great against the spread, too.
Tony loved his raging cages.
I did.
Hey, by the way, he's 11-2 because they had a good offense.
Yeah.
Which goes into it makes it sound like we were prepared. Right? Because that question was like, you got to have a good offense if you want to get in. Yeah.
Correct.
You were right.
I'm definitely buying that sweater, by the way, he was wearing. That's the Raging Cage. No, that's pretty
It was
sweet.
Adidas, too, because Mac Brown always has the...
Yep.
He always has the fresh J's
Hey,
on, too.
Mac is one of the freshest dudes I've ever
When
seen.
he walked up to you,
Oh, my God.
he had the Levins on.
How about when he started dancing?
Yeah.
Man, I love Mac Brown.
You guys' Nike deal changed a bunch while you were there,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
right? Because you guys had a bunch of uniforms your last year.
Our first year, we had like 2 jerseys, I think, a home and away. And then we won the Sugar Bowl, and I think we bumped up again. Then we won again, and then we go. Like, I think we continued to go up. And then after we left, they had like 45 uniforms. Whole new stadium, whole new locker room.
You guys got awesome Under Armour stuff too. It was like the first unveiling of a lot of Under Armour gear under the jerseys.
Oh, the under
yeah,
jerseys.
that was that year.
Because it used to be you would wear. No, I think they were all Nike, weren't they?
It might have been Nike, but it was that style. Like they weren't really worn before.
Oh yeah, like the
happened when we were
thermals.
in high school.
Yeah,
Pro
it was all
combat
plain
stuff.
stuff. You guys got like customized
Because
stuff. It was
when
great.
we were in high school, it was only Under Armour. Under Armour
Correct.
came in; it was only Under Armour, and then moisture wicking. Is that the proper thing?
Oh, yes, yeah.
That kind of started sweeping through everything.
Heat gear, cool gear.
Yep.
I wear tights every day, man. I'm a tights guy.
I love tights.
I love them. I don't know why. It's tough to wear in public, you know.
Going to shoot some hoops?
You see me working out, I got tights on probably.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep them warm, you know. Keep the legs warm.
Zeke wears them every single day.
Yeah.
He's wearing them right now.
I am wearing
Underneath
right
his
now.
jeans, probably.
He had jeans on yesterday, and we got shipped some shorts that we could potentially put on our merch store or whatever. And Zito just took his jeans off and then put the shorts on, and he had tights on underneath his jeans. So he's literally double. He's got little jeans right there. We got to get to another radio break, I believe. 40 minutes after the hour. Shout out to head coach Billy Napier. In the second hour, we got Lawrence Guy.
Yeah.
Lawrence Guy was named to the 2010s All-Decade New England Patriots team.
Hey, now.
He was a teammate of mine back in the day. He's a grinder. There's a guy that has made it. They're like, I think like kind of like Rob Ninkovich, like you get into the Patriot system and it's like, okay, smart football, like that stuff. I think like he really thrived up there, and he has thrived up there. He's one of the last remaining players on that team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're getting, everybody's leaving. Director of scouting, see ya. Get out. Don't need your bill, scout. That's why I didn't go to the combine.
You got Big Larry in the middle, too.
They're still going to win, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have Bill Belichick. Will they win more than Tampa? I don't think so. No, I don't think there's a chance. Wow, that's going to get clipped.
Tougher division, though.
Did you hear what I just said right there? If that happens, that's going to get.
It's not going to happen.
Let's dump it.
I mean, the NFC.
By the way, if that was clipped, it's Wednesday, May 6th. 2000. Okay, we're in the middle of quarantine still. I don't know what you want from me.
Point the date above you right there.
40, yeah, right there. It is 42 minutes after the hour. We got to get to a break on radio. We'll do YouTube questions and a phone call during that break at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Yeah, that's what you're listening to, The Pat McAfee Show. Got it. Jeez. All right, here we go. CFO Phil just texted the group a tweet from Darren Ravel. Darren Ravel, a man who is normally a business insider, amongst other things. He tweets that The Simpsons, the quotations, The Simpsons doesn't predict the future. There's just so many episodes, quotes, double space. May 6, 1993, a Simpsons episode plot has the town of Springfield getting sick with a flu that originates in Asia. While the town begs for a vaccine, murder bees show up. Matt Groening is a time traveler. That is just final answer. On this YouTube right now, there's a video somewhere on our page where we listed out like 20-some happenstances that Simpsons have predicted basically exactly the same. And some people are like, well, that's just this, that's just this. Okay, there's 20 other ones then. I want to hear about it. Matt Groening, I just want to hang out with the guy for a day. Hey, where are we headed? Is it going to be like that Mr. Peabody movie where
Peabody and Sherman.
Peabody and Sherman? Is that what it's going to be? Are we just going to bounce around with Groening? Like, if your boys are Groening, do you just get to go to the future, come back? Like, what? I would like to know. I'd like to be friends with the guy. Let's talk about it. He's a time traveler for sure.
There was also a tweet going around. I think it was yesterday. The head writer of The Simpsons posted a tweet in 2015, I think on New Year's Eve, that said, enjoy it while it lasts. 2016 is going to be as good as it gets for a while. Pretty well.
Oh, my.
So wait,
How does that happen?
Does that mean the murder hornets gets worse? Because I mean, there's just a couple little stories about it right now. I mean, for it to be in a Simpsons episode, you got to think it's gonna get.
Well, I think it's already. I think
I think it's a massive problem already.
Well, I mean, I haven't got stung yet, so.
That's the part of the episode they show it though.
Well, me neither. I haven't got stung either, but danger killer bees. Great. So that's okay. You got over here cargo.
Yeah.
Because if it does get bad, we are going to eventually learn exactly how it got here.
Yeah.
It got here in one of this. Oh, my God.
There's another new documentary out there, too, that talks about this pandemic as well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Well, I don't want to get into any details because it's already been ripped off the tube, but...
let's go to... we'll do John in Rhode Island. I don't think we've ever taken a call from Rhode Island, have we? Yeah, we have.
It's been a while.
What is Rhode Island's... are they the ones who live free or die?
No, it's New
greatest
Hampshire.
greatest little state in the world.
What is New Hampshire's thing?
Live free or die.
That's our state motto.
They changed it. People were not happy.
What? What they change it to?
I don't remember, but I think it has since been changed back.
Yeah.
Smart.
They almost died on that hill.
Let's go to John. Listen, we were free. Now we're not. We will die. We've been saying it all along.
They were just testing them. That's what it was.
John in Rhode Island, what's up, dude?
Patskis, how's it hanging, bud?
Hey, not too bad, pal. How are you there? Hey?
I'm doing okay. Just feel like I got tanked by CFO Phil with that Mac Roden tweet, but I'll ask you anyways. If you're a player right now, who do you trust more? That sellout Gutekunst, Billy O'Stooge, or Bill Belichick's dog?
Great question, John. Nike, by the way.
That's definitely the easy winner.
Nike is the easy winner there. That dog had the most patience I've ever seen. Just hanging out, sitting there. The story, I guess, is that there was a treat sitting on the table, and Nike was just sitting there waiting for somebody to give it to him. So Nike is just a savage, too. Nike's like, you guys want me to go play catch? Nah. Right there. You guys see what I'm seeing? Let's do it. And then when Bill comes over and gives it to him, and then he still sits there, there's more there. Most disciplined dog of all time. Of course, Bill Belichick is a dog whisperer.
Of course.
Of course he is. That's why the Patriots are going to win.
My dog would have been standing on that table.
Oh, my God. The little corgi thing that's at my house would have just broke the iPad. But he would have been doing it with a cute face. We're back on radio.
Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, and you already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market.
Amen.
They sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit.
Wow.
Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable, perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems. You've heard me talk about how the company was co-founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, J.R. Smith.
What happened there in the middle of that one?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Did they tell you to do something and you were reading? Did you pull a Zito right there?
Well, it said, please pick the celebrities.
Yeah, thought so.
And I wanted to see which ones I wanted to pick, and I definitely skipped over Melissa Etheridge.
Jeez.
Whoa.
I don't know who that is.
Brand ambassador.
Oh, my God.
Etheridge.
She loves Raycons.
90s icon.
I wasn't alive in the 90s. So, call to action. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Pat. That's buyraycon.com/Pat for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/Pat.
Diggs was born in 1988.
Do you guys remember anything before the age of 12? Because I don't.
Kid Rock, dude. Are you kidding me, man?
No way he was
Double
in the
Dare.
90s.
Ball with the ball, the bang.
Those
the
were
bang.
not in the 90s. No
Absolutely
way.
was.
Those
Age
were
of
early
12?
2000s.
You don't remember anything before the age of 12?
Come on,
Do
dude.
you?
Yeah, man.
No.
Yeah. When was Kid Rock ball with the ball? The bang, the
98 released.
Huh?
1998.
there. Yeah, I remember that.
See, to me, that was 2005 at least.
He's still making money off that song. That was in the
Everything
90s.
in my life has happened in the 2000s.
Hey, man, good for you, dude.
Good boy, Tony.
Yeah, boy.
How's Coach feel about this? He probably took him on so many vacations.
I know.
He probably had to do so much different with his life.
Spit in Coach's face.
Coach and Diane
He's
had
actually on the phone right now. No,
See, I remember all those things. I just in my
Hey, who is on the phone right now?
we do have someone on the phone right
Yeah,
now.
let's do it.
Introducing Gumpy.
Gumpy, that a boy.
Good boy, Gump. Good boy, Gump.
How are you, pal?
Paul.
Boy.
So Gumpy, for those that don't know, that incredibly Canadian voice right there, that just sounds so Canadian, is our friend Gumpy. He lives in the left side of Canada over there. That's the, where's that at, Gump?
British Columbia, Victoria.
He lives in Victoria, British Columbia. He was working for us, literally. Then this quarantine happened in Indianapolis. He was originally a caller, then became a part of the show. Then he had to go back home, got locked down for 14 days. Now they're saying there's zero chance we get him back in the foreseeable future back into America. Gumpy, we miss you, buddy.
Miss you too, boys. We're in a bad spot here.
How is it up there?
A bit of a spike over the weekend. The hot weather came out and people didn't want to stay inside anymore, so bit of a spike. But the weather's not bad. Close to the water, to the house, about as good as it can get.
What have you been doing? Just staring out at the ocean out there, Gumpy, trying to figure out your life?
Yeah, looking for my friend Wilson.
Out on an island. You getting fat over there? I'm worried about you getting fat.
I'm trying not to, dude. I'm doing these boxing classes, but the diet is terrible.
So Gumpy lives on the left side of Canada. He doesn't really like hockey, which doesn't make him a real Canadian in a lot of people's eyes.
Right.
He's a fan of the Boston Red Sox and a fan of the Miami Dolphins somehow. Miami Dolphins had a massive come-up, Gumpy. How does the Canadian diplomat of the Miami Dolphins fans feel about that move?
It's finally our time, Pat. Tua taking number one. Great choice.
Great choice.
Pats are dead. Belichick's done. The Dolphins' time in the AFC East.
What about the Buffalo Bills? What about the Buffalo? They got Josh Allen. They're getting better at football.
I think they might have peaked. I think they might fall back a bit. I don't think Diggs helps them that much.
Oh, wow, Gumpy. People are not going to like to hear that down in Buffalo. I want to let you know that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hot take, but division rival, got to, right?
Got to. We miss you.
Another win for the Dinos last night in the KBO.
Saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're hot.
Okay, let's do that because we are wrapping up hour one here. Who is your team on the Dinos? Because I feel like you're up at that time whenever those games are being played.
Yeah, 10:30 p.m. start here. Dinos beat the Lions 4-3 last night.
Any big bat flips get pimped out there?
No, not too many bat flips. There was back-to-backs the night before, as Ty talked about, but not too many last night. They got a great mascot, by the way.
Who, the swole guy?
The Dinos, yes. What's his name? Swole Dino?
Yeah, I don't know. Big Dino.
Swoley, I think.
Swoley.
Big Swole Daddy. Something
Big
like
Swole,
that.
yeah. Swole Diesel, I think. I think it's Swole Diesel. So are you betting on that heavily? Yeah.
Yeah, did well on the Jalen Hurts going in the second round was a great bet to lay on, too. He opened at like plus 180, and then by the time the draft started, he was like minus 160.
Ah, jeez. All right. Well, Gumpy, we have to get out of the hard out here. We need you to call back tomorrow and then the next day.
Okay, boys, good to talk to you. I miss you, boys, and who knows? Maybe see you soon. Probably not.
Well said, pal.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Gumpy, we'll see you on FaceTime. All right, Gumpy. Man, he was here, too, working.
Yep.
Yeah, he almost was stuck here
Legit.
before the border closed.
Yeah, it was like Aaron Rodgers trying to get back from Peru type situation. He was one of those, you saw those pictures of people waiting at baggage claim or whatever. He was the day before that. So that wasn't his exact day because we were trying to, is this what it was like? He was like, well, it was close, but the day before. He was one day away from being stuck like Tom Hanks in that terminal.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between here in Canada.
Yeah, we're going to need to dig up Johnny Cochran to get him back into the States, I think.
All right, hour one is coming to an end here on radio. We got Emmett's Minutes launching on the YouTube as soon as we get a break on radio. We'll see hour two. Lawrence Guy joins us from the New England Patriots. This is the Pat McAfee Show. That was a big one. All right, Emmett. I'll be intrigued to see how you read away the first hour's minutes here, because you were 5 to 7 minutes of the first hour, which is
True.
pretty big part of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, our intern, Emmett McMahon.
So, Pat.
Into his hand.
Can't have it. You got to go into the
Batman, dude.
Especially right now, you young kids feel so fucking invincible.
Texas hat, too.
Unbelievable.
Just all in
No, we're
Texas.
just gonna. Doesn't even happen.
Forget about it. Who cares?
It's a gimmick.
Day 2 can't
Connor already
happen.
updated the board.
2 days, 2 good
I already
hats.
had it.
All right. Emmett's heirs too. He spelled Emmett's name wrong. Just one of the most disrespectful things that has ever
Well,
happened.
I mean, I asked him after I already wrote the name, and unfortunately, I wrote the bottom Emmett's errors in permanent marker. So
It's the exact same color of the dry erase. All right. Emmett, good luck.
All right, Pat doesn't know about Korean baseball.
Amen.
Corona could cost the NFL cap 30 to 80 mil. Could cost some players their career.
We did talk about that, and that is accurate.
The show gets calls from Estonia, Wales, Ireland.
Spell Austonia, please. Please spell Austonia.
Astonia.
Maybe a little more geography, maybe a little less Greek and Latin.
See, that'd be good. But Emmett, that's on us. I apologize. You did. You were on a hot run there.
You spelled the E?
Hey.
he spelled it Estonia.
Well, Zito just backed him up. You're not the only one that spells it that way. Where all from? Sorry, we just.
Estonia, Wales, Ireland, New Zealand, Italy. My class is horrible.
Whoa. Did we say that? Is that how you took it? Is that how it's going to be received, you think?
No, that's kind of just how I take it.
I respect it.
Never come in late to a meeting. Don't be late unless it's overtime. Credit hours don't expire like milk. Napster was the OG LimeWire. Yep. We had Billy Napier on. He likes all kinds of music, plays music on Thursdays. Talked about.
So you're listening to that, and he starts talking, you're like, oh, that's interesting.
Like all music, huh?
We also talked about some Saban and Dabo, how he got his influences from them. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. Football is a melting pot.
By the way,
I was alarmed when he said that. I just wanted to skip over it. Emmett was not letting it pass, which I respect.
pretty prevalent saying, and I was watching the chat, and a lot of people have never heard that saying before.
I mean, Santa Claus, I think, said that. The Santa Claus. I think Tim Allen actually says that in the Santa Claus. It's an old school quote, though. I mean, it's an old school quote that I almost had to, but I didn't, because it was a good conversation. We're in the middle of a good, but yeah, Emmett, I'm happy you saw.
Football is a melting pot and is a never-ending game of chess. Small schools need a great offense. Use the rules to your advantage. We talked about the Raging Cajun offensive scheme, some Cajuns going to the NFL, and Billy Napier has a lot of balls.
Did you transcribe the entire conversation?
Just first of all, you can't say what you got to say. Raging Cajun. You can't just say Cajuns in the NFL.
Yeah, the angry ones.
Cajun's not offensive.
I believe
Well,
so.
but they're the Raging Cajuns.
They're angry.
Yeah, you just
The
don't know where
Raging.
that.
I don't know. They are the Raging Cajun.
If I was the Raging Cajun, I wouldn't want to be referred to as a Cajun. I'd be referred to as a Raging Cajun.
Hey, I'm not just a basic ass Cajun.
No.
I am a rager.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I respect it. It's on me for judging you for that.
They call it Cajun chicken, Cajun chicken pasta, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be Raging Cajuns.
I think that's a style. Whenever you just say it as a
Yeah,
person,
it's a style.
Yeah.
so that's a person pasta.
Well, it doesn't have to be person.
Personal preference.
That's what the Raging is there for, though.
From
to
the French
decipher
Yeah.
between a Cajun chicken
But
and
in the way it was used as
No, it's
just
just an
a
adjective.
Cajun, like as a person,
It's true.
or is that a sense of pride? Maybe
It
it's
is.
a prideful
That
thing.
one.
So you want to be called a Cajun?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Is it Cajun?
like the fan.
Cajun.
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 Raging Cajun.
like
Whatever.
the
They got a
fan.
good offense.
Yeah.
Good call there. I mean, that was a really good call. Is that everything?
We talked about Mac Brown is always fresh. If you want new jerseys, you have to win games.
You got 30 seconds.
Pat and Zito love tights.
We do.
The Simpsons predicted Corona and murder hornets. Belichick's a dog whisperer.
I forgot we even talked about that.
Gumpy called, and Canada got a bit of a spike over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Might see him soon. Probably won't. I do want to meet him.
Oh, you and him would get along, by the way. You and him very similar. We got radios coming in 3 seconds. Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, May 6, 2020. One day after Cinco de Mayo, and although I didn't get a chance to celebrate it with strawberry margs and tequila and cervezas and tacos and Crunchwrap Supremes and things of that nature, I had to eat an Italian sub because my favorite sub sandwich was shipped from Pittsburgh to Indianapolis for one last birthday gift. So today I'll be celebrating Cinco de Mayo by eating Mexican, but because the bread would potentially spoil or expire, go stale, whatever you get it, and the meats and stuff. I had to do it yesterday. So I postponed Cinco de Mayo one day. So although it is Wednesday, May 6th, it is my Cinco de Mayo. I hope you're all having a fantastic morning. If you didn't listen to the first hour, you didn't miss anything. I'm being 100% serious. We read through the minutes here. We talked about time travel. We talked to Billy Napier. We learned what a Cajun was. We talked about everything that could potentially happen in the salary cap and in the future. In hour 2 is going to be a much better show. We got Lawrence Guy joining us in 15 minutes.
No, 40.
40.
Wow.
Yes.
Thought that was at the earlier part of the hour.
No.
We can call him early if you want.
No.
I will double check.
Larry does show up early, so he could answer the call if
He's
you
probably on
do.
Lombardi
That's
time.
at Boston Connor, and nobody knows what he's doing. He's been wearing that all morning. He has been committed to the bit, which I can respect. What are you?
I am a soldier with spikes on his helmet. Aren't they cool?
Yeah, Trojan?
You know what? Yeah, I'll be a Trojan today.
Are you guys not impressed?
I mean, that is clearly the helmet from Gladiator.
Yeah, Roman Legion.
Yeah, no, that's what I
Which
said.
20 years
Roman.
ago yesterday was the anniversary.
That's why I wore it today.
Congratulations.
20 years ago, the film came out, Gladiator?
Yeah.
Wow, that was 20 years ago?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Hey, great movie.
First film I remember is because it was in 2000.
At Tone Diggs, at Ty Schmidt, Nick Marotta. At Evan Foxy, that's called back to the first hour, too. Diggs lived 12 years in a 90 before 2000, but nothing happened. At Viva Lazito, Jason McAfee's here. And our intern had to go to Latin and Greek class yesterday, but he's back. Emmett, how's it going, pal?
Going very well.
Yeah, I think you're doing good, by the way. I think you're doing really good. at
Thank
your
you.
job. You are getting paid, too, by the way, which is nice. We have a contract for you today. A lot of the boys, by the way, were there was some dialogue about the amount of money you were going to get paid. Just want to let you know that. Just want to let you know that it was a topic of conversation yesterday. While you were learning about Alpha, Beta, Keta, we were trying to figure out how much you should get paid because we don't do this. And I said a number, and there was a lot of big eyes. That came out. They were like, excuse me? So I just want to let you know.
Just know, Emmett, Pat wanted to pay you a CEO salary.
No. By the way, your dad made me a lot of money. So it's literally just coming. It's on you. But welcome back, Emmett. Your Emmett's minutes were very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, some things we probably could have left out for the sanctity of the person's, the show and stuff like that. But
Sure.
Also, know your countries. But
Yeah.
Estonia. It's unbelievable. I bet you there's a lot of people in that chat too. By the way, I was watching the reaction to a couple things. They didn't have a clue it was Estonia either.
They don't know.
No idea.
No,
They didn't do geography bowls like we did.
Estonia.
8th grade geography bowl champ. People forget. I still have the trophy at the house.
You should.
No big deal. Second largest coral reef on Earth is where?
Not the Great Barrier. That's number 1.
Yeah.
now it'd be Australia.
Tell you what.
It's got to be in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I don't know the answer. It's what normally I could really just belt it out.
The Caribbean Shelf.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but it was what I got right. It was the final answer.
It's goes from Cancun to Riviera Maya. It's off of coast of Mexico.
Nope, that is not it.
All right.
No.
Yucatana.
The
No.
Belize Barrier Reef.
Belize. There it is. Bingo.
Belize.
That is it. It's Belize.
It goes from Belize all the way up the coast.
Yeah.
Google says the Mesoamerican barrier reef.
That's not my Google.
Hey, you know what?
Cancun,
The
Yucatan
valedictorian that I beat for that geography bowl could have probably put a little recount in if they wanted to, but I went home with the cup. No big deal. Got
And
it
this
on
one says
stage.
Belize. So, I mean, conflicting reports.
Well, in my particular geography bowl is Belize, and maybe with global warming, some things started shrinking.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
What
it's
do they
tough.
take a measuring tape?
Bad to watch.
come everybody talks about global warming potentially being us shooting rockets through the ozone and letting in more heat? Anybody ever think about that?
I mean, we solved that, right?
Yeah, and also maybe there's so many humans, we're pushing the Earth down closer to the core, which is all fire. Maybe that's heating things up. Have we talked about that?
It's
Both.
getting hot in here.
And Elon's shooting those rockets up in the atmosphere so there's holes for his alien friends to come down through.
Bingo. And what's that do? You think they're not coming in with some heaters, by the way? Oh, my God. Those UFOs that the Pentagon just released?
Yeah.
You know how hot those things run?
Big
Oh.
boosters
At
on
least
those.
5,000 Kelvin.
Listen, I'll drive a Tesla. Okay, it's a great car. and I'll try to save the world. But is anybody going to talk to those UFOs that are just blowing through our ozone?
We can't.
I'd like to. Maybe we send that guy back there to go talk to
I'll
him.
go get him. I got him.
Your name has to be
Sword right
EMC
here.
squared to talk to him.
Dominate these guys.
In the first hour, we talked about some real news with Schefter talking about the salary cap going down 30 to 80 million next year because the NFL will potentially lose out on $3.2 billion worth of revenue if there's no fans in the stands. Now, granted, we know nothing about the real world, but we feel as if, now this is just Indianapolis, not on the coast. It feels like the light is at the end of the tunnel. I'm not 100% sure. The New York Times sent an email out, I guess, to their employees saying, we prepare on being back in the office around September 8th. That is a long time from now, but still a time where hopefully if they're able to go back to work in New York City, which is, by the way, the epicenter of this entire thing, right? New York City, then we would think that maybe the stadium, but still the season will be able to push. But still, if they lose that much money, that is not good for football players going forward, which, by the way, is what we cover here on this show. It's not good for humans that the coronavirus quarantine is happening. We very much understand that, but in our ignorant world here, that affects a lot of NFL players as well.
Good news, if everyone's going back to work in New York on the 8th, the NFL starts on the 10th. So ipso facto, we're playing football with fans.
Oh, you see what we just did there? We just pieced together news from the real world to our world to make our world better. Bingo. That's the name of the game, Emmett. That's what they don't teach you in that Latin and Greek Zoom class that you had to go yesterday. More information has rolled out about, not more information. A topic was talked about by a Minnesota Board of Regents member, which I have no idea what that is. A University of Minnesota Board of Regents member. Don't know what that is. Could have done more research. Did not do it. I think there's something of importance to the University of Minnesota, though. I would assume that they make some sort of decision. He alluded to something along the lines of the Power 5 conferences potentially leaving the NCAA. Now, that could only be short term or whatever his exact quote was. Minnesota Board of Regents member Michael Sue says he could see Power 5 conferences break away from the NCAA in the next couple years, even if the Power 5 remains with the NCAA after the pandemic. That could only be short term. Okay, so this has always been the thought. The G League starting to do it for basketball players, where if you have another league that doesn't have the NCAA rules, you can still get the big, talented athletes and pay them somewhere else. G League's just now starting to do it. I don't know how that hasn't been something for the last few years. I would assume because the sell is that if you go to Duke or Kentucky or any of these schools, you're going to become a better basketball player and all that stuff. I would assume the G League is also going to make you a better basketball player because you're getting coached by NBA people and you're being seen by NBA people. I don't know why the G League hasn't been happening. I know guys have been going to New Zealand. The Ball family went to Lithuania at one point. I mean, there's been basketball players since the one and done rule has been put in where they've gone other places to play and make money and earn money. But now that the G League is becoming a real option where 3 of the top, 5 or top 10 recruits are going to the G League, they'll make around $300,000. They can sign a shoe deal. They can do all that stuff and not deal with the NCAA. I always wondered in the football world if there would ever be a league that would start up that people would be able to go. In my initial conversation with myself, whenever I was throwing those hypotheticals out, probably in the shower, which is a place where I do a lot of thinking, which is why my skin gets pruny in there. It gets pruny, and then I got to unprune them before. It's like, why you do this every single morning? My thought was, what do you get, a billionaire that would have to start a league? But then he has to have the foundation, and he has to have the setup and the stadiums and everything like that. And then the more and more I would talk about it, it became something I really thought about. It would have to be the schools just saying, enough, we're not doing the NCAA anymore. We're just going to become a business whenever it comes to our football. They can still run their school. They can still run their university. They just have a whatever professional football team happening and basketball team if they want to have that. They just operate as a business as opposed to an NCAA run team or legislative team. That would be the only way it would have success. That would be because they have stadiums. They already have coaches. They have facilities. They have access to the players and recruiting. They have the money. That would be the only way it would work. Would they ever do it, though? Because you would have to get enough people that would want to leave that would make it worth it and make the league survive. You would have to be able to do that. You'd have to have schools that are big enough to get TV deals so you can pay these people. But if they ran it right and all the powerful schools went out and did it, I think you could see a high school, this thing, NFL type thing. I really believe that is the case. I think you could do it.
So they leave the NCAA, and then they probably don't bring all the sports, right?
Well, I don't think will the NCAA be like, yeah, we'll take your rowing, we'll take your swim, wrestling, all the sports that don't generate capital, right? And now, granted, some places are outliers. Iowa wrestling, I think, makes a lot of money, but I'm assuming there's a lot of wrestling places that don't. But that's just one of those things. Will the NCAA feel obligated, because their thing is we take care of the student athlete, if they're only offered a few of the sports? Will the NCAA be willing to take that if they're losing out on the football team or the basketball team or the women's basketball team in certain places that make, like, would they? I don't know. That'd be a very interesting thing. Would the NCAA settle for that and be like, all right, we'll run a league where these people can compete and do this stuff? Or will those sports at those cities or at those universities just disappear because the only reason they're in there is because of what, Title IX, which is an NCAA rule? And if they're not in the NCAA anymore, do they still have the Title IX rule? I'm not 100% sure. Does that make other schools, by the way, better at those other sports that could potentially make, I don't know.
And then the schools will only do this if they think they can make more money away from the NCAA, correct? And with the NCAA's rules on not paying athletes and now only paying them for likeness, like, would they leave the NCAA and go do their own thing where they potentially have to pay the athletes and then they don't make as much money?
I think the coaches potentially, and now this is speaking for a guy that we didn't even know existed before this. Like, this guy is not PJ Fleck. This guy is not their athletic director. This is a board of regents, whatever that means.
Regents are responsible for the general supervision of all educational activities within the state.
Okay. So I have no idea why this guy was interviewing anybody at any time or getting interviewed by anybody. But him saying that, it means there had to have been a conversation somewhere about that happening. Somebody else had to be having these conversations where this person heard this and thought about saying it. I don't know. I have no idea how it would work. I have no clue how that would work. I'd be intrigued to see how it would work. I think it would be awesome, but I don't know how it would work.
Do you think there would still be conference affiliation with this, or they would just randomize
No,
the
it'd be a
schedules
league.
of all the teams that went and did it?
It'd be its own league, yeah. It'd be its own whatever they call it.
I'm sure there would be conferences or whatever, but it wouldn't be the
Completely
SEC or
new
whatever.
realignment.
Yeah, it would be, because, by the way, most of the SEC schools that are good would go.
Yes.
Yeah, most.
Texas would go, USC, these schools, Oregon would probably go. There'd probably be like all the schools that have enough money to self-sufficient. Like Nike, right? Anybody that has big boosters could probably go because they could probably afford to.
A lot of teams in the Big Ten would go.
Yeah, that's what. And if they made their own league and it was just two leagues, an East and a West, or a North and a South, or whatever the hell they were to do, or split it into divisions like the NFL, I mean, that would be interesting to watch. Now, granted, that would mean, they'd probably pay the basketball guys too then.
Yeah.
Well, and then what happens with March Madness? Do they make their own March Madness? Because all those teams are not in the.
Yeah, they make their playoffs. March Madness. The NCAA, the losers in this entire thing, would be Turner, right? Because they own the March Madness rights, which is massive. I mean, it's on True TV, and like people are watching these basketball teams that I've never heard of, didn't know they exist. I'm watching it. They would lose unless they somehow got the basketball rights from it. The NCAA would lose.
ESPN has the national championship in football.
They also have a weekly slate of 15 college football games.
Yeah.
So all of those deals would have to get renegotiated with wherever. It would be quite a tidal wave of, oh my God, there would be a lot of people like, wait a minute, we're doing what? Mark Emmett down here in the NCAA would just be go right to the drawing board and just figure it out. And then I think it would end with, well, I quit, and then just walk out. I don't think you would want to.
Let's look for the Raging Cajuns in the national championship this year, boys. Let's go.
What is the reason that schools would leave the NCAA to do this?
I assume that if you want to, because some schools are harder to get into. NCAA has like a lot of academic things that you have to live up to, but they might have a lot of money. They might be a good team. Maybe they're sick of their people getting suspended. Maybe they're sick of trying to hide that they have to pay these players to get there. Maybe there could be numerous things. Maybe they want to, if we're all recruiting players. Now, I'm not saying anybody's doing that. I have no idea. I have no inside information. Literally, you hear me talking to these coaches on here is about the most I've talked to them, other than like a hello and what's your game plan. But like, if there is ever, in basketball, it came out that there was the recruiting stuff happening and they were under the table, money flying everywhere. If they made it more open, maybe people would think it was a little bit more fair, because then what the open market's holding as opposed to these. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people would be like, our sports, it'd be much easier to run, sleep at night, and compete if we were able to know what everybody else was doing, as opposed to it being backdoor deals happening and things like that. That would be the only.
Yeah.
And also, you get to run your own business and your own team and your own promotions, and you get to schedule and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, like schools become more profitable almost because, like, for instance, LSU.
Well,
LSU's top 3 sports were profitable, and then the next, I think, 17 weren't. So they could wipe those 17 theoretically and then just only have profitable sports. I mean,
so the University of Alabama just wouldn't be a part of the NCAA anymore. They're part of their sports are a part of this league.
Yeah.
What does the NCAA do anything for like the actual school? No, it's just sports, right?
I mean, I would assume there's some sort of tie-in.
But their tie-in is to dig in whether or not somebody's academically eligible or anything like that.
True. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it? I think is more of the question. If you're one of those big schools that makes, what did LSU make a couple years ago?
$57 million off their football team.
And then everything else was red.
And then, yeah, like baseball was $1 million, basketball was like $500,000.
That is what he said then is 100% the reason why. So they don't have to do that because the NCAA Title IX, which by the way, I think is a good rule. I think if people can get scholarships for college and sports, I think it's good even if you don't make money. Now, granted, the world, if you don't make money, things don't exist. But I respect the fact that amateur athletes still get a chance to compete in things. And I understand that it takes some people to make money for other people. I get all of that stuff. But if you're the University of Alabama or the LSU and you're making $60 million off of one team and you're making $10 million off of another, and then you're losing money with every other sport, and you can maybe get better, why? I think that's the reason why you would do it. I think that would be the reason. It'd be strictly business.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And the new TV deals that they can negotiate.
Oh. Yeah.
It's only going to get bigger. And it doesn't have to be dispersed amongst the entire conference now because the bottom half of the conference that isn't playing primetime games or running those primetime games, they no longer get a part of the split. It feels like that would be actually something that that's a decision people would make.
Well, then you get rid of all the restrictions that they have in place in terms of like how much time they can have in the facility. They could treat it like an NFL team, you know? I mean, these guys wouldn't be going to school. They'd basically be going just to play football.
Well, they probably have to take a couple classes, which, by the way, making them better. Like, let's do this. Instead of having a 12-hour mandatory full-time student, you could take 4 hours of classes or something of that nature. Now, granted, would those just be complete?
Yeah.
Would other people be doing all of those classes?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
They could also make it, too, that you could enter the NFL.
But by the way, a lot of these degrees that guys get coming out of college football are not good. They are not. You might as well just say you got your high school diploma as a saying you went to school to get this degree. That people would just go, well, why'd you even get that? There's
You always said it too. The life lesson, like life classes.
Yeah, give a life class,
Like
get
the life
taxes,
class we did,
common sense instead of Greek and Latin. Like let's he should learn how to maybe do his taxes,
Balance checkbook.
things of that nature. Yeah, like that's what he should be learning in college. I think athletes should get that class. That should be every major basically, unless somebody wants to be a chemist or Dr. Myron Roll or something. What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you want to do that or be a lawyer, I think you should get a life class, and you should get a degree for that because, hey, I'm prepared for life. I was in classes for 4 years. That's all a degree says, right? Is you were committed to something for 4 years. That's all, in maybe 6 years or 10 years.
Literally, when I went to go get my master's degree, I was told this is going to tell people, all it's going to tell people is that you are able and continue and willing to learn. That was it.
Zito's willing to learn. He just doesn't want to.
I didn't want to spend $40,000 extra.
17 minutes after the hour, Zito's just laughing in her face right now.
Yeah, I mean, went to Illinois State. So.
Roll birds!
And he is a graduate, and he is
Illiterate?
Yeah. I'm still here, baby.
Hey! Roll birds!
Roll birds!
Let's get to a break. 17 minutes after the hour, we'll do some YouTube questions during the break. Lawrence Guy is joining us in 75 minutes. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show.
Ray J in the house, y'all.
Hey,
Oh,
good luck on this one.
thank you, means a lot.
We just talked about you being an Illinois State graduate. Roll
Yes.
birds.
Roll birds.
Roll birds.
Roll birds.
Nick was coming after you. Nick went to school for 10 years.
Yeah.
Nick, you know what I mean? He's a doctor basically in IT.
Masters.
But can he read an ad read
He cannot.
like the Illinois State graduate, Zito?
Yeah, I'm going to do a good job here.
What are you selling to us today?
Oh, Ray J in the house? Oh, actually, no. Who is this? Oh, no, this is Manscaped. I thought I had. Oh, no, this is a bad start. This is a bad start. If you're listening to the show right now, I want you to take a second and look, Don. When was the last time you shaved your junk? It's been a while, don't lie. Let's take a second to thank our sponsor, Manscaped, for holding you accountable to get rid of the funk and shave the junk. Yeah, suck it.
Hot start, Zito.
Manscaped is the only men's dedicated brand to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 Essential Kit. The perfect tools for the family jewels. This third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nickel-free thanks to Manscaped Advanced Skin-Safe technology.
Hey, no more nickels.
In these sack.
It's going to get dumped probably.
What do you mean?
Can't say that.
Well, you
Of
can't-
nickels. Sack of nickels.
Yeah, you
FCC, suck that.
The war against the FCC with Zito continued.
couple
This is-
shillings.
Oh, excuse me. Oh.
Shillings, right?
Yeah,
You can't
nickels
say
in a
that.
sack.
This is the perfect package for your perfect package. I'm going to call the action real quick.
Please do. Hey, please do.
You got it. Get 20% off free shipping with the code America at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use code America. Your partner, your body, your balls will thank you. Suck
Yep.
it, FCC.
Way to go, Zito.
Nick,
I can't connect to the YouTube chat, so I wonder if something's going on with our YouTube. Our internet's been kind of weird today, huh?
Yeah,
You know
well,
why? Because they got a sawzall in the wall.
Exactly.
Are they cutting down our internet? Is this something, Nick? You went to school for a long time on IT. Can they Johnny Appleseed and take a hacksaw and just saw down our internet like that guy did to the apple tree?
Yeah, you absolutely could just cut right into the fiber on the outside of the building.
Which it does come in, I believe, from one of these corners.
Yeah, right over there.
Does it feel as if that potentially happened? Because everybody's saying Emmett tried to get on the internet, couldn't get on the internet. Then our bit rate was too slow. Now the YouTube chat's up. Now we're back.
Okay.
Phew.
It's close.
Must have repaired it pretty quick.
It was real. No. Let's go to Hunter down here in Florida. Is this Triple H? What's going on?
What's going on, Pat? How you doing?
Not too shabby. It's not Triple H confirmed. Well, we're pretty good. Would have been better if you were Triple H, but I can't wait to meet my second favorite Hunter of all time.
Hey, I can hit you with a Ric Flair, though. Woo!
Should have hung up right there.
Hey, Pat, I got an idea to run by you.
Maybe. Could be a good idea. Probably not.
All right, here we go.
All right, I got a way for the PGA Tour to double their revenue on the Tiger, Phil, Brady, and Manning match.
Okay.
I think they should be looking to the most electric, undefeated NFL PGA Tour combo, and you and John Daly.
I agree.
Yep.
Me and John Daly should be the third team in that entire thing, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Hey, you know what, Hunter? You might move up to my favorite Hunter. That actually, this, by the way, I won this belt in a golfing tournament. I've only been in one golf tournament in my life and came home with the belt.
Undefeated.
Me and Aaron Rodgers were teammates there, just like Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers are now teammates. But the what's going on, Ty? Is everything
I mean,
okay?
just stop it.
Stop what?
I don't need the snide comments.
It was a fact. He was just
Snide
saying facts.
remarks.
It's
true.
Yeah, I know it's a fact. Okay, I also sense the sarcasm underneath it.
Sarcasm?
Yeah, I sensed it.
No. I'm just talking about how me and Jordan Love were both teammates of Aaron Rodgers. Me and Aaron Rodgers won a championship. Well, Jordan Love and Aaron win a championship. If he can play D-line, maybe linebacker, they'll get that done. But I'm just saying, me and Aaron have won a championship on a golf course together. Now, Scottie Pippen was there, and did he dunk on me for an eagle from 120 out? Yeah. And did he beat me in our one-on-one matchup? Sure. But nobody can account for the camaraderie that we brought to that casino tour and NFL team whenever we got that big win. Who did we beat, you say? Oh, good question. Ray Allen, ever heard of him? He's a very good golfer, by the way.
He is. Yep. His teammate was not great.
What's his name? He's a good dude, though.
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, he's a good
he
guy.
was- he
Good
was a
dude.
good guy.
Good dude.
You rattled the hell out of Ray Allen, though.
You think so with me taking my time?
The slow play got to him.
Yeah, I was in the woods. I'm a scrambler, Ray. I don't know what to tell you, pal. I'm going to be all over the course. He's just right down the middle. He's Ray Allen. That is what Ray Allen is. And I'll tell you what, he's a fast golfer, I assume. I don't think he's a slow golfer. And also, remember, we were on the same plane as Ray Allen down to the Bahamas.
True.
And the flight was delayed, 2 hours? We were
Give or take.
sitting on the plane for 2 hours because the toilet exploded next to Ty Schmidt's chair.
Overflowed. Little sewage backup issue. It was not great. Not fun.
Ray Allen was sitting directly behind me and Nick, who were at the front of the plane. And he's sitting right behind us, headphones on the entire time in his own world. Looks like he traveled 4,000 times, which, by the way, he has. He was not even flustered at all. We were obviously having a couple cocktails on the flight. We were obviously getting, have a good time, have some music, not interrupting anybody else. But when you're 2 hours sitting on a plane with nothing else to do, what are you going to do? And you're heading to the Bahamas. You might as well do it. So that night, I obviously spoke at the welcoming party, and I told Ray Allen I sat in front of him for 2, 3, 4 hours, and he didn't say a single word to me. So I'm going to take it out on him on a golf course, basically, is what I said.
And he did.
And Ray Allen, you know how I took it out on him? I played all over the course. I went in the woods, took my time. I was shoeless too, so he had to deal with that the entire time. Me and Tyler, what's his name?
Tyler Johnson.
Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler.
Why did you say it the way you said it?
Sometimes people say Tyler.
Do they?
Well, it depends on where you're from.
He and I had our shorts rolled up all the way, though. Ray had to stare at my thighs, and we showed up late to the delayed tee time whenever we're playing against him because it was another 2-hour delay, and we just stayed in the clubhouse, the lounge the entire time. And Ty Schmidt actually turned the golf cart sideways in front of the tee because he was so incredibly drunk driving that golf cart. He slammed on the brakes, squeals, and turns sideways, and Ray Allen's up there practicing his swing like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, not easy to concentrate in the tee box when you got Dom Toretto pulling up behind you. So you're welcome.
Anyways, I won. And me and John Daly, we played in the same team at the Greenbrier Pro-Am. We were either in first or second.
Yeah.
I left.
Oh, yeah.
I left. We were winning. We were winning, but they said somebody else could have caught us or something along those lines. It came down to the 18th hole, though. I had to make a birdie, I think, on the 18th hole. I think
drained a bomb, didn't you?
Yeah, but I got par. But if I would have got a birdie, I think we would have been outright winners. By the way, hit a big drive on that. Going into that hole, I probably had 15, 20 beers at that point, right?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Like 15, 20 at that point. Yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to do in a golf thing when you're walking around with John Daly? John Daly was not drinking. He's not allowed at those things, but I was consuming as much as I could. In the first, 7 holes, I lost 64 balls. 64 balls. But then that last 9.
Nailed it.
I got hot. I was stone colding beers in the middle of fairways at the Greenbrier, which is one of the most nice places I've ever been. They didn't even let us in a casino because I had shorts on. They made you rent pants and a sport coat to get in the casino. It was not a place that we were, thriving in. But me and John Daly, I think we're either undefeated. I think we're undefeated together.
I think you're right, too.
Could you imagine John just rolling through 75 cigarettes right next to Tom? Tom Brady's eating avocado ice cream. You got me and John chugging a gallon of chocolate milk next to him. He's rolling through that. I just got a big old in the thing.
Bet you John and Phil are friends.
Oh, yeah. I bet you they've gambled before. By the way, everybody that meets John is normally pretty friends with him, I think. Even the people at the Greenbrier that didn't like us, they love John because John Daly.
We should ask him about it.
About him and Phil?
No, about you and him getting in that tournament.
I just don't know if that's the vibe we're looking for. And I am a little bummed about it.
They should be.
Amen. They should be. But anyways, I haven't swung club in a long time except for in the backyard on my birthday, and I'm hitting pretty good. I don't know if it's because it's the first time in a long time, but the ball's flying.
Stay hot, my friend.
Somebody's got to tell the person that cuts grass, so there's about 60 balls out there. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. Somebody's got to give them a heads up. I'm going to try to catch them.
It's going to catch the blade, and it is going to fire about 300 miles an hour towards your house through a window.
Bingo. And we can only hope that it doesn't hit one of the 14 animals that live inside. Be like the tornado again. 31 minutes after the hour. Let's get to a phone call here. Jags are moving forward with Leonard Fournette this year. There was talks that he was on the trading blocks because he came out and said that he loved Gardner Minshew, but Cam Newton is a championship caliber quarterback. Literally the next day they were looking to trade him. Couldn't find any suitors, they say, in the market. They're saying that they had talks with him. They feel like he's in a position both mentally and physically to have a great year next year. Let's move on and act like nothing happened. Leonard Fournette had his best season last year after he went to Montana or Wyoming. He eliminated some people from his life, came back even even better. Remember at LSU, he was a grown man playing running back against a bunch of student human athletes. And whenever he got to the NFL, he was good, but he wasn't as dominant as he was at LSU. Last year, he started getting back onto that path. He puts out a tweet about Cam Newton. The Jaguars say, oh, you think you want to make our team better, huh? Well, we'll trade your ass right out. You saw what we did to Jalen? We got his ass out of here. And Ngakoue, he once gone. You know what we're not going to do? We're not going to let him go anywhere. But you don't want to go and you want somebody else? You'll be the hell out of here. Couldn't find a suitor. He's back. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a very interesting story going into next season. They got rid of Nick Foles, who they paid $80 million just last year because he got hurt. He goes to Chicago Bears to compete with Mitchell Trubisky. Gardner Minshew's their guy. I guess whenever they drafted him in the 6th round or whatever, there's a quote, Doug Marrone saying, we got our guy or whatever. Well, if he's your guy, why'd you wait till the 6th round? Is what a lot of people would say. He did bring a spark to Jacksonville. He played great football. He played really good football. Will he get better this year? And is that really the quarterback that the Jacksonville Jaguars think is going to win a Super Bowl? If that's the case, I guess I don't knock it. And I like the fact that they got Leonard Fournette back. But boy, there's a lot of interesting situations from the personal standpoint going into this upcoming season that nobody knows is going to happen. For instance, Aaron Rodgers, he can't love LaFleur and Gunther, or maybe he does.
No,
but
he doesn't. I'm not speaking for him, but I don't know how he could.
I don't know how he could either. But he's going back into the building after his quarantine. Be professional. Don't let it carry into anything. You're a professional athlete. You're paid very highly. You can't have emotions or feel any certain way towards anybody. Okay, don't handle it. Leonard Fournette, you remember when you thought about tweeting something? We want to get you the hell out of you. Remember that? Do that again. He's going back in there now. He's paid $4.6 million next year, a total 8.6 whatever cap hit because they include the salary or the signing bonus. But it's just one of those things where there's a lot of those situations that are starting to bubble up everywhere. And on the flip side, a guy that people would expect this to happen, Odell Beckham's like, no, I'm coming back better than I've ever been next year. I think last year, whenever he was playing hurt for the Cleveland Browns, and there was big expectations and big hype on Cleveland Browns, and they were inevitably running draws on 4th and 18 and such with Freddie Kitchens. Odell Beckham Jr., who needed surgery, didn't have his best year, wasn't a target on the offense a lot of the time, didn't get the ball as much. Everybody thought that Odell Beckham would lose his mind. He did not. He's getting surgery. National championship night, Odell Beckham had one, celebrating LSU, brought back bad PR. Now he's just going to work. He's saying he's going to be back better than ever. And it feels like the tide is kind of turning on how players kind of shape the image of what's going to happen to them. And the future, I think, is going to be an insane one with all social media and the way things are handled.
I may be dumb saying this.
Where's
but
Cam Newton going? Nobody knows.
Great question.
He's not going to Jacksonville, allegedly. Nope.
No. Are we sleeping on Gardner? He was 6-6 last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. When Nick Foles came back from the injury, he lost his job again to Gardner Minshew because they were like, well, Gardner's better than Nick Foles.
Also, selling bandanas and mustaches to a fan base that needs to be reinvigorating. He is very good. Maybe we are, but he was a 6th-round pick rookie. I mean, everybody was sleeping on him, But maybe we need to wake up like the rest of the world, like Duval is currently. Pool parties, Gardner Minshew. That's what Jacksonville does.
I don't even think people sleep on him so much as it is the organization. I just don't think they trust the organization to put the people around him or to succeed in any fashion.
Well, and also, I mean, the NFLPA came out and said that 25% of their complaints are directly towards the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's 32 teams, 25% of the complaints are against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's not great news for people that, free agents and such. Now, granted, they signed Joe Joe Schobert, who is a great linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. But I don't know. Will the Jacksonville Jaguars be good at football with Gardner Minshew as quarterback? TBD. We got to get to a break. We will talk to Lawrence Guy on the other side. Was just named to the 2010s All-Decade Patriots team. Yeah. Super Bowl champ. We'll talk to him. Who's calling shots up there in New England? Good question. Mikey. Who's the defense coordinator? Who's the defense coordinator? Who's calling into place? I'd like to know who that is. You know what else? Everybody's gone but you. How do you feel? Zito, I will ask about Nike.
Thank you.
I have no idea what I'm going to talk to him about.
Get the Stidham info.
Oh, Jarrett Stidham.
Get the Stidham info.
Practice. How was Stidham in practice against the defense? You got to see him every single day. What was he like? There it is. Hey, bingo, Gladiator.
Let's go.
There we go. Got to get to a break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Welcome back. Every once in a while, we like to dive deep into the annals of the YouTube comment section, which is notoriously known as the most beautiful place on the internet for YouTube question.
YouTube question.
You damn right, Zito. What do we got, pal?
Coming from Ryan Johnson, green avatar. Slow sports day. Obviously, buddy. What are some of the crew's favorite sports movies?
I like that you took a shot at him right there in the middle, Z.
I like Ryan.
Okay, so my favorite sports movies are obviously Remember the Titans and Semi-Pro. Okay, those are my two sports movies, and maybe you can slip in Happy Gilmore or The Waterboy in there if you really want to start getting. And Any Given Sunday people love, but for me, Remember the Titans seems to be like the one that is the most, like I feel like it captures what the locker room is really like in a football team. Like, like coming together, maybe there's some differences, but you come together for one common purpose. And I like that story. And obviously Denzel is Denzel. I mean, that is something. So I like that movie the most. And then Semi-Pro because Jackie Moon is just an entrepreneurial genius. And what he did by bringing in Moxley, is that his name? Johnny Moxley, for a bag of balls in a washer machine, letting him take over the team, let him handle the promotions, that's just good bossing. And that's why I think not only is he a talented singer, he's a good basketball player, but he's one of the best businessmen of all time, Jackie Moon. And I think Jackie Moon, remember, he sold the Mega Bowl to make it into fourth place.
Yes.
That place was packed out. It hadn't been packed in years. Imagine him on Shark Tank. I think he really, Shark Tank. I think Jackie Moon is a businessman that you can really learn a lot from whenever they're in those little sun outfits at halftime or whatever.
Ed Monix.
Ed Monix, there it is, not John Moxley.
He was quarterback, I think,
Moxley's
in
Varsity Blues. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
That's Moxon.
Close. Yeah.
Moxley's the wrestler.
Mox. Yeah. What movie? What's your favorite movie, Ty?
My favorite
Sports
movie?
That's obviously Miracle or Mighty Ducks.
Oh, Mighty
No,
Ducks.
definitely not. Mighty Ducks is up there. D2 is incredible.
Completely forgot about
Karate Kid, if you count that as a sports movie.
Oh, are you kidding me? We got a big UFC fight this weekend. You're going to call karate not a sport? Wow. I can't believe you just did that.
It's a good point. A lot of people wouldn't say it's a sports movie, but it is.
I think it is.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
They fight for a championship at the end. So, yeah, it is a sports movie.
Die Hard, Christmas movie?
Yeah, it happens on Christmas.
Little Giants.
Great.
Oh, my God. Pepto-Bismol?
Great.
Alka-Seltzer.
You get it. Intimidation. I don't think I ever watched that movie. The girl, Icebox?
Icebox.
Yeah, I get it. Buzz, right? Is that the guy's name? Buzz is
Spike.
Spike.
He had a Buzz.
Same thing.
Spike don't play no games.
Yeah, they didn't play no
I think
games.
his dad was Buzz.
That's one of those movies I think as a kid, like I watched, went outside, came back in, watched. Yeah, I got the gist of it.
Little Giants surprisingly does not hold up over time.
Annexation of Puerto Rico still plays though.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Please have a little fucking respect.
Madden
Big
Summerall.
That was a great question by Ryan Johnson, even though Zito took a shot. Big Green. Oh my God, that kid was so good when he moved into town. I wish they would just been nice to him. You ever seen Big Green?
Oh, yeah, Steve Guttenberg.
Unbelievable.
Classic.
Move. By the way, get the cows, cut the grass, or whatever. Smart. Smart. No, there's cow patties now.
Yeah.
Cow patty bingo, also good game.
Yes.
Every once in a while, we like to do YouTube questions, and honestly, I'm very thankful Ryan Johnson led us to that conversation right there.
YouTube question.
Oh, Talladega Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you said Semi-Pro. It's the better movie.
It is. I've seen Semi-Pro 6-7 times. Talladega Nights, you can only watch once or twice.
Great movie.
Yeah.
but
Great movie. It's not a sports movie. Sandy is the best movie potentially of all time on Netflix. I saw Seinfeld special last night. By the way.
Oh, how was it?
It's good. Seinfeld's so smart. He went after people that use porta-johns a little bit, so I didn't love that. But the rest of it was very good.
He's a germaphobe guy, so that makes sense.
He is. He's so smart. It was really good. I laughed very hard, and he doesn't swear. So, that's something
It's tough to do.
Good
tough
comic.
to do.
Yeah.
Tough to do.
He keeps it clean.
All right, radio show's back with Lawrence Guy in 3, 2. Zito was just in a full panic right there. I think Foxy should have cut to that. Zito was in a full work mode right there. Zito is trying to call Mr. Lawrence Guy of the New England Patriots, Super Bowl champ, named to the All-Decade team. It is Wednesday, May 6th. We've covered everything you're supposed to cover. The Browns want to extend Myles Garrett. Could be up to $25 million a year, which would be the highest of any defensive end. He is coming off a season where he was suspended due to ripping another player's helmet off of his head and then hitting him with said helmet on primetime television. Going into that game, though, this dude was almost an MVP, defensive MVP candidate. He is a absolute dominant football player. If you're expecting him to not hit another person with a helmet, this seems like a pretty good deal to keep him in Cleveland. If you think there's a chance he maybe takes another helmet off of somebody, this is probably going to be judged later on as how could you have done this as the guy is coming off a suspension. But Myles Garrett, by all accounts, good dude, well-liked dude, calm dude, just has a trigger that really gets going and could potentially decapitate you on a football field.
Do you think this sets a precedent for players that if he gets extended, the other players are going to try to hit other players on the head? Or is this just a classic Browns organization move where they reward bad behavior?
Well, I'm not 100% sure about that, but you go back to the Pavlov's dogs.
Yes, bark, bark.
Okay, ring the bell, saliva, treat.
Correct.
Ring the bell, saliva, treat. Patterns, right? That's kind of what it is. It's about patterns and things happening. We've never seen somebody take somebody else's helmet off and hit them in the head. We've only seen it one time. What happened? They got paid afterwards.
Correct.
Yeah.
So maybe, Diggs, that is something that I haven't thought of. Maybe somebody does that. But you also better hope that you're potentially a defensive MVP candidate whenever you were going for it. I think that be who you can afford to be very much plays in this particular case. Myles Garrett, I assume all he did was get bigger, stronger, faster, and smarter during this. And his body didn't take as many hits. Now, granted, he didn't make as much money, but he's making it on the back end here. But so he's probably going to come back even better. I mean, it's not good for the AFC North, especially that new quarterback, Joe Burrow. Hello, my name's Myles Garrett. I'm worth $25 million a year potentially. I just hit a guy last year with a helmet, and I'm going to assassin the Cincy Savior.
He's got some tough defenses to deal with.
Who, Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Well, Myles Garrett, a lot of people got to deal with too. Lamar Jackson, did Myles Garrett play against?
Oh, yeah.
How'd they do?
Let me find out.
Did Myles Garrett play in that game, though?
For sure.
Yeah, because he didn't get suspended till when? Week 10 or something like that.
Yeah, 10
Didn't
or
the
11,
Browns
yeah.
win one of those games?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah,
Early
they
in
beat
the
him in
year.
like
It was
week
early.
2.
Yeah, so that was the only time Myles Garrett played against. Is Myles Garrett how you stop Lamar Jackson? And that's why Andrew Berry was like, let's pay this dude.
Yeah, week 4, the
Oh,
They
but that
played
was
the
when they
Ravens.
threw it 50 times or
Yeah,
whatever.
Lamar did
Yeah,
not
and
look good.
Chubb-
That was whenever that Lamar was saying he was kind of mad or something that people were only talking about how he's running and not throwing. So the offense coordinator tried to let him throw the ball a bunch of times, and then they kind of found their groove. I think week 5 and on or something like that. That's when the Ravens became the Ravens. But nonetheless, Myles Garrett was an animal on the defensive front for the Cleveland Browns. What happened with Lawrence Guy?
Somebody gave the wrong number. We didn't get the right guy.
Who'd you just FaceTime?
Some lady was answered half, very disheveled.
In the nude?
She was,
half what?
she was very disheveled. That was the word I'm using.
Oh, half disheveled.
No.
But yeah, she was like panicked looking at us. She was looking at you, so she was like, "This is not the person that."
I'm the face of what that person just woke up to. Oh, my.
So she was live on a show.
It was the Booker.
Oh, we just called the Booker?
Yeah, it was the Booker.
Oh, so someone gave us.
I'm
the
not
wrong
sure
number.
we've ever met them.
Oh, should we call him back? You just beat him.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
event.
We did, yeah.
Thanks
Sorry.
for what you're doing.
I just sent you the number to Zito. She sent it to me.
I don't know. What are we going to do? Talk to him for 4 minutes?
Is that
Potentially.
Myles Garrett contract going to change next year if the salary cap goes down?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, you better
You're going
hold
to
off.
see every contract change if the salary cap goes down. I just got a text from a player in the NFL that said, why don't we revisit whether or not this was a good CBA that the NFLPA signed if this thing drops $30 to $80 million?
Well, Dak should for sure sign his franchise tag right now then, right?
Amen. Get your $31.9 million right now. Not hey, I think you are owed more than that, Dak. Okay, I think you've deserved it. But we don't know what the money's. There's no way there's going to be an entire season without. Maybe I'm not going to get cut on one of those clips that says, like, oh, this guy did not take it seriously. That's a big thing nowadays.
Plus, not only sign it because of COVID, but sign it because Andy Dalton's about to steal your job.
Whoa. That was Evan Fox did not cut the camera on the guy that said that. That was not me. I did not say that. Andy Dalton, friend of the show, like Andy Dalton a lot. But I am not getting in the camp that Andy Dalton's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, although I think Andy Dalton's a very good quarterback. I think Dak is a damn good quarterback. Joining us now is a man who's tackled a lot of quarterbacks, Super Bowl champion, and has been named to the Patriots All-Decade Team. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence Guy. Yeah! Attaboy, Lawrence! Woo! Hey, congratulations on that All-Decade Team, man. I remember when the Colts let you go. I thought it was a bad decision. I thought you were a good dude. You have found a real home in New England and played incredible football up there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, making that journey and ending up where I'm at right now and to be named on their All-Decade teams, it's a true honor and a blessing. But it just shows how much hard work pays off.
Hey, I respect that a lot. Let's talk about hard work paying off. Jared Stidham seems like he's going to be your guys' guy next year after having Tom Brady for a long time. You've obviously gotten a chance to practice against the guy. What is Stidham like as a player, and should Patriots fans be like, yeah, this is Bill Belichick obviously coaching people up. Jared Stidham's going to be great for us.
Jared's a good guy, good teammate, and like the overall good person. But, Bill has his way with what he has planned. And we go with what we do with it. Every day is a new adventure, in the Patriots organization. So we're looking forward for the season to happen. We're looking forward to, hopefully we're looking forward for the season to happen. And we're looking forward to go out there and try to win games.
Did Stidham, was he the guy that was your scout team quarterback every single week in and week out last year?
Did you watch the practice films?
I didn't know. I did. I think, you know what? I got sources. Bill Belichick actually sends them to me, asked me for my advice and things like that. Was he the quarterback there for the scout team?
Oh yeah, we had him. We had a couple players jump in, but he gave us a good look last year. He got us prepared for the games coming up, and he jumped in there, during offense and defense. He did both sides of scouting and regular.
Okay,
it's just him going and trying to improve his craft like we all do. I jumped in on scout team myself a couple of times. Then I tried my hand on the offensive line, and they said, "Hey, you're not an offensive lineman." I'm like, I understand. I can't get that 1-2 step down.
Jared's now granted, offensive line and defensive line have an incredible relationship with each other, even on the same team. Jared Stidham, though, is an athlete, though. Huh? That's what you're saying. The guy is very athletic. He played on both sides in practice.
I would say, he's an all-around good player, and we're just looking forward to get back to OTAs or going up and seeing each other at the facility, and building that relationship with each other as a team and every player that's going to come in from the draft and free agency.
Lawrence, you're now an OG on the Patriots roster. I mean, not that you're now, but obviously you got Kyle Van Noy's gone, Tom's gone. You and Julian Edelman are kind of now the elder statesmen. What will that look like for you going into next year?
Going into year 10, now that I look back, going into year 10 was a surprise. I was just trying to get to year 5, year 6, but now I'm at this decade mark. It's just going in there trying to give people my knowledge of what I have been through in the league and what they have to respect and how we approach the game. And that's the only really way you can do it, is trying to be a role model to the young players coming in and those veteran players coming in from other teams, having them understand how the Patriots do certain things there and how we bond as a unit and how we work together as a unit. It's not about a single player, it's about the team. And that's what all is about. It's like, hey, we come in here as a team, we lose as a team, we win as a team, but we do everything as a team.
The Patriot Way is always talked about. You've been in a couple different places now. What is the Patriot Way, if you had to describe it? Why is it different than everywhere else, and why has there been so much success?
When you look at other places, as experience in any, it's more, hey, what's good for the team? Everybody has their individual success. We understand that, but people put their pride aside to do what's best for the team. You might be uncomfortable in a certain situation. Something might not benefit you playing the game, but it's not about what benefits you. It's all about how we could do better for the person next to you to perform good and how you could perform good and how we can win games. And that's just the Patriot way. We ignore all the hype that you get in the background. You ignore that, or man, this is happening. You guys are losing games. You guys are winning games. Like, that doesn't affect us at all. All we believe in is how can we play good football for the person next to us before he can play good football for the person next to him before we can win.
That's insane because I think anytime Bill Belichick coaches, especially with his resume, he's able to institute that and get professional athletes to buy into that. And that's why you guys are always going to be successful. But now on the roster, if you look at the staff, there's another Belichick there. What is Steve Belichick like? Is he going to be the next Bill Belichick? Do you think he's going to be a coach that is up there in the upper echelon of coaches as well? Is he a stud already, I'd assume?
You know, Steve does a great job in learning from his dad and learning from his grandfather. You know, you can see the work ethics he puts in. But can I tell the future? I can't tell the future what he's going to do. If he's going to be the next Bill Belichick, if nobody's going to be Bill Belichick, he's going to be the next Steve Belichick, and his success is going to be determined on what he chooses to do farther along down the line. Is that if he chooses to continue to go into be a head coach, or does he want to stay trying to be a coordinator, try to be going to the personnel departments? All depends on what his life decisions are. But I believe he's going to be a good coach. We saw that last year. The defensive unit had a real good success out there playing, and we had a good camaraderie. It wasn't individuals. It wasn't like, oh, we'll point fingers at the coach and point fingers at the players. It was more like, hey, we understand each other. We're having a good thing going, and we're going to take the ups and downs as it is, and we're going to continue to go. And, you know, Steve has the same state of mind. He listens to his players, and he understands what's going on, and he's willing to adjust to anything that he hears on the field from our feedback.
Okay, so how much do Bill and who puts together the game plan? Is it kind of a community group up there, or do you not know until you're just told basically on Wednesday's team meeting what the plan is?
Oh, you know, the coaches, you know how that goes. Coaches have their meetings. They stay in there until 11, 12 o'clock at night. But they put their game plan together, and when we come in, we go over it. You know, we go over there, we go to practice, and we have to adjust. We adjust. But that's the best thing to know. You could adjust.
We have to get to a radio break right now. We'll continue on YouTube. And we're off radio. You can swear if anything slips. We're okay. Okay, so whenever does Steve Belichick have his hands on the defense though? Is this becoming his defense? And last year was just like the first year of that.
Yeah, you know he's hands on. That's what people don't understand. Steve is really hands on, but like I said, he's willing to listen. And when you're willing to listen to a player and hear their adjustments, it's the best type of coach you can have. Because we're going into games where we're just pretty much not doing as well as we could on the defensive line or the linebacker unit, and he came up and said, "Hey, what are you seeing? We're seeing this. We could adjust like this. What do you think might help out?" And we have our little feedback, and he'll take that, and he'll be like, "Hey, I took that feedback, and we put it in the next quarter, and we started doing success, and we're like, hey, we're going to move away from that. What do you guys think?" And it's that process is great, you know. Listen to if you could go to your safety and listen to them and ask, hey, what coverage do you think is going to work? Because we're thinking about doing this, and you can have that feedback and like, well, when we see this wide receiver line up over here, he's doing this to me and doing that to him. That's kind of messing that coverage up. If we could switch it to here, we can maintain it, and I will help him out and adjust down in our disguise. And the coach willing to take that information and continue to call the game. It's amazing.
Is that because he's young, you think? Normally the old guys are kind of stuck in their ways, or do you think it's because he just kind of is more understanding? What do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I think because, you know, he comes from a great legacy of coaches, you know, and understanding the game a little bit more. Like Bill does the same thing. Like everybody thinks Bill's stuck in his way. He takes feedback. He understands it, and he tries to adjust it. And you can see it in Steve doing the same thing. I'm going to adjust what's going on and let me hear what's going on. Because, like I said, you have to make adjustments. You could coach a perfect game. The players might not play that perfect game. And if your players are like, hey, the game plan's good, but they're changing up certain things that pick on this one player, they could change it up real fast. I know coaches see it, we all see it, but hearing it from a player's mouth, how he thinks that you could adjust it, doesn't hurt to try. And I know Steven's like, well, try it out, and it works. You know, Bill does the same thing. We go in practice, we'll knock out something and be like, hey, that didn't work. And he's like, it should work. And like, it's not working. We need to switch it up. And he's like, all right, cool, we'll do this instead. Because he could see it himself, but instead of forcing something, He'd rather have a good feedback from the players. That's the only way you can become a real good coach if you take the feedback.
And I think that is why, by the way, that is not, I think a lot of people might think that is normal. Like, oh, that would make sense that something potentially on paper doesn't work as much as it does with humans. Like that and coaches aren't always that way. Like, and the fact to hear that Bill Belichick's that way is one of the most insane things of all time, because you would just assume from the narrative that almost gets painted about the guy that he's just like, this is how it goes. Like that's what you would think. That makes so much sense. And that's why you guys will always be good when Bill Belichick is your coach, I think.
Like I said, and the best thing about having Bill, Steve, and the coaching staff all together, and when they go ahead and talk and try to build this game plan, they're building it together. It's not just, hey, this is what we're going to do. I don't care if we have the players or not. No. They're willing enough, like, well, this player is good at this, where we have another person next to him that could help him out if that player is struggling in one area, and they just build this defense around. And if you look at the Patriots defense, look at the Patriots offense, you can't say it stays the same the whole year. There's always the adjustments. There's 4 quarters of football, and we play 4 quarters, and every 4 quarters don't ever be the same. When you're playing in a game, you're like, hey, the first quarter ain't the second quarter. We got halftime, third, fourth. You always have to adjust. And if you can see that throughout the years and throughout every 4 games, it's always an adjustment somehow, some way to try to improve.
That's why somebody maybe struggles in the first quarter and they get it figured out. And they're like, all right, we fucking got him now. And then bang, the second quarter, oh, what the fuck? It's a whole new defense. Now we got to figure that out. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. You guys ran into the buzzsaw that was Derrick Henry to end the season last year. With that guy, it feels like he's playing different than he had ever played before. Allegedly, he had a conversation with Eddie George, and it kind of turned them all around. He just signed a franchise tag for the Titans. That team, whenever you're talking about a guy like Derrick Henry, what makes it so tough to stop that type of offense?
Well, what is he, like 250?
260, I think. Yeah, he's 260.
He's 260, and I could cut like Shady. So you're like, how do you cut that much weight on a dime and able to explode upfield? And that's what makes him a good runner, is that he's able to keep his balance being that heavy and easily stop on a dime and redirect. And when you're able to redirect that much weight, it makes it difficult to tackle. Like, I remember I hit the man at the line. I'm like, okay, cool. He hit, boom, got his balance, and it's bumped all the way back out. I'm like, most running backs, they get hit in the line, they get in a pile, they stop. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get the extra yardage. He's not afraid to take that step back and explode. Like, I'm going to use my speed and strength to try to get to the second level. And we all know if he gets to the second level, it's a lot of problems. You got DB safeties are going to get now a 260-pound man running back. It's not the easiest thing to do. And you ain't going to sit there and hit him at the ankles or try to wrap his knees up. You have to hit him high, wrap him, and try to have people gain tackle on him. And that's what makes him a real good running back. Like I said, you can see, but look at his development from when he got in the league to now. Like, whoever talked to him or whatever clicked in his head or how he said, hey, I'm just going to go over here and this monster people, it clicked and it's showing up. Like, he like, geez. Like, you can see him on the film. Like, I literally saw the playoffs when he was going. I was like, people going to have a tough time tackling him.
The thought that we had earlier, that is the breakdown, by the way. He's 260 pounds that he could cut on a dime. I was just trying to think of myself trying to cut on a dime. With the weight I'm at, my knee would buckle. Like, it would just absolutely buckle and go. We talked earlier about the RPO game, right? With these triple options and everything like that. The offense, you can have the perfect scheme or draw up the perfect play, but if somebody out-athletes somebody, I mean, it's just going to be the way things go. Belichick comes from the Navy background. Obviously, it's been running triple option for a very long time, but Lamar Jackson seems to be this guy that is going to revolutionize football. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the face of the NFL and things like that, but there's going to be guys that are going to be similar to Lamar Jackson, but not be exactly Lamar Jackson. There's going to be offense that saw Lamar Jackson's success, and they're going to be like, we're going to try to find Lamar Jackson. What makes that style of offense so incredibly different? Is it strictly because it's Lamar Jackson? Is that why it's so difficult to stop that thing?
No, they have a Mark Ingram's there. They got a good wide receiver core. They got a good tight end core, and the offensive line, like, all of them went to the Pro Bowl. Like, they have a good offensive line and they have a good system. They built that system around his abilities, and that's what you should do. You have a good quarterback, so you put players that could benefit your style of quarterback, and that's what they did. So they developed their wide receivers. They got their tight ends on track, and they got their line to adjust to a running style quarterback and a mobile quarterback. Other than like was Joe. Joe was a pocket guy, so they had an offensive line to stay in the pocket. Now everybody's moving, and you can see that develop. But again, you still have Michael Vick. Michael Vick had a different style of play, so they developed the team to make sure they had a style of play for Vick to come out there and perform, and that's what they're doing. And Lamar is like, again, it's a freak athlete. Let's just be honest. He could cut on a dime. He could throw the ball. He's accurate. He has an arm. You know, most people are like, can you throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field while you're running? I can't. I try. I try to hit the little trash can from 40 yards away. I'm like, Coach, it's cold out here. I'm a little rusty. Let me warm up. But he's able to do that stuff, and you can see it in his talent. And like I said, it's never going to be another Lamar Jackson. Amen. It's never going to be another Patrick Mahomes. Never going to be another Michael Vick. But I do see players coming into the league or developing into the league, getting told that they can't play that style of football anymore, that they're not a Michael Vick, they're not a McNabb, they're not a Lamar Jackson. They should go to wide receiver, and this person is showing them, everybody, that they're wrong. Because I heard, too, that they tried to move him to wide receiver, and he's like, no, I'm a quarterback. I'm going to show you that I'm a quarterback. And that's the best thing you can hear from a player. Like, this is what I am. I'm going to show you what I am. And if I don't make it, I'm going to make it on what my beliefs are. And he gave it all of he got, and it showed up on the film.
His mom, too. Remember they asked him to do workouts or something like that, a wide receiver, and his mom, who was his manager or agent, was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, I just want to let you know we're not doing it. He's a quarterback, and he's the MVP now. And you're a member of the Patriots all-decade team. By the way, that's an incredible accomplishment, especially when you're talking about the dynasty, the best dynasty in the history of sports, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence Guy, we appreciate you, man. Lawrence. Oh, boy, Lawrence, appreciate you. All right.
Okay.
I'll go fuck myself.
I think he was muted. He was muted at the end there.
Okay.
He said bye.
Hey, good conversation there about the football.
Yes.
Good conversation about the football. Got into it. Steve Belichick's defense sounds like back air corner.
Yeah, and he seems to be the next one. I mean,
He didn't want to predict the future. I mean, let's get in OTAs and we'll see what we got going on. But yeah, he's got his hands all over that defense. Before we get out of here at 12:05, we do not have McAfee and Hawk today. That returns tomorrow, as does this show at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Bruce Arians, I think, on the show tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be joining us tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend. That'll be a good conversation. He and I, we've had a few conversations before recorded. Always good conversations between Bruce Arians and myself and the boys, by the way. He's a big fan of the operation. Can't wait to chat with him.
anyone on McAfee and Hawk tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, we got Andy Dalton on tomorrow's McAfee and Hawk at 1 o'clock. Hey, okay, here we go. Andy Dalton, now of the Dallas Cowboys, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, will be joining myself and AJ Hawk tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, McAfee and Hawk. We got Bruce Arians tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be a friend, tell a friend. Subscribe to the channel. Let's try to build this thing as much as possible because we talk about all these things. Ladies and gentlemen, hour 2, Emmett's Minutes. Jesus, Emmett, I mean, come on, pal. I mean,
Does he have headphones on?
You playing Minesweeper over there? Jesus.
Come on. Good shoes today, by the way. Good shoes. You got good Jordans on. I mean, you're really doing it out there. Yeah, it's a good day for the kid.
Thank you. Today we talked about the second hour. Pat, it's his Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
We confirmed Diggs was not alive during the 90s. Pat was an 8th grade geography bowl champion.
Thank you. Bingo.
Nukes and UFOs could be the cause of global warming.
People forget.
Oh, yeah.
Power 5 teams could break from the NCAA via Michael Sue. I don't know who that is.
Neither do we, but that was a big conversation today.
Yeah.
We dove deep into that thing. Mm-hmm. Didn't expect that to be our show today, but boy, we really dove in here on the slowest news day potentially in the history of sports and news.
Well,
That conversation ended in a financially could be a really good decision for the school and could be good for athletes.
Could be. A lot of coulds in there. Could be. Well, it should, maybe. Hey,
Potential.
we don't know. We're looking at film.
Talking about student athletes, degrees are for people who just like learning, and Nick has his master's. We had a Manscaped ad. Pat and John Daly are really good golfers. Pat rattled Ray Allen and lost about 64 balls.
Amen.
You cannot go into a Bahama casino in shorts.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
No. You already prepared for Emmett's Airs 3. You're already prepared for it.
Everyone loves John Daly. The Jags are moving forward with Fournette. Are we sleeping on Minshew? I don't know.
Oh, that is a good question. We'll dive into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it Minshew or Michael Jordan? That's our debate tomorrow. Good call.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Jackie Moon is a talented singer, basketball player, and promoter. The Browns' Myles Garrett might be getting paid despite swinging helmets. Zito FaceTimed the Booker
helmet.
on there.
Whoa.
A single helmet.
Yeah.
All right.
There you
Yep.
go.
It's all right.
That's true.
Is that a? Yeah, it is.
It's a half air, I think. Yeah, probably a half.
We had Lawrence Guy come on. He was a member of the Patriots All-Decade team.
Good for him.
Stidham is confirmed an athlete. We talked about the Patriot way, some football adjustments, how Steve Belichick, like Nike, was well-trained by Bill. He's a player's coach, and so is Bill Belichick, actually.
Wow.
Talked about Derrick Henry being 260 pounds.
Yup.
And running like, I guess, a gazelle.
Shady.
Running like Shady McCoy.
Good guess there. Safari animal.
Lamar's freak athleticism forced the Ravens to adjust their offensive scheme. We wrapped up with no McAfee and Hawk tomorrow, but
No.
or today.
That's
Sorry,
two. That's a two.
So is that 4? So that's 5.5.
5.5. Okay, at this point.
no McAfee and Hawk today, but tomorrow Andy Dalton will be on for McAfee and Hawk.
There we go. Hey! Good news. Barra, good news.
And then also Bruce Arians tomorrow for this show at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Great work, Emmett. Really good today. We can't thank you enough for watching the show. I know there's a lot of other options, obviously, and there's probably good shit elsewhere. But the fact that you spend your time with us, we can't thank you enough. Be a friend, tell a friend, ring the bell.
Ring it.
Which side is
There you
it?
go. I believe it's actually bottom
The
left.
stream's behind. I'll tell you in a
Son of a
second.
bitch. It's
Yeah.
down
It's
here.
No,
Yeah.
it's to your left, top.
This one.
Yep.
Go ahead, right down here. There's Tua's new number, by the way. Go ahead and ring the bell. Oh, we didn't cover that.
Notifications.
We got to talk about that tomorrow.
It looks like a belt to me.
Well, that's your notification. Your bottom right was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, so down here.
I disagree.
Bottom left, maybe.
But, yeah.
There it is.
Oh, that's a good gift.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and gift that
There
real
we
quick.
go. Yeah, please. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been the Pat McAfee Show.
I'm seeing a bell up here.